Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Alright, greetings to the task force. Reparations Rap Battle now. I am a descendant of Black American slaves from Houma, Louisiana, and from Dallas, Texas. I'm a fourth generation Californian here. My family came here in the 1930s. Ever since we came here, they've been victimized. Okay? Illegal immigrants right now are being treated better than Black Americans in the state of California. They're being prioritized over me, and that's a goddamn shame. We need reparations right now. I didn't see not one goddamn black child walk in here to come see this damn science center. That's a fucking problem. Every time we're around California, the majority of black people are on Skid Row in Watts where I live, and we're not doing well at all. You owe us now. And the second thing, I'll be goddamn if a goddamn Nigerian, if a Haitian, if a Dominican get in on my reparations claim because they've been completely hostile to foundational Black American freedom.
Yes, let it be known. Ballers gon' ball, haters gon' hate, and if your ass off code, certified's gon' regulate. Certified foundational Black American, and to the whole family, certified salute. Let's go. Right now. That's that energy right there. That energy that brother had right there, that I don't give a fuck energy, that I'd be damned if you try to play me energy. That's what we all gotta have, and that's what we gonna definitely show right here today on the Black Alpha Network. Oh, we putting it down today. Right here on this episode, hot fire. Hot fire. We gonna bring it all the way live. Yes, we gonna say what needs to be said. We gonna say it straight to the point and direct, and we gonna keep it all the way G. Pull up a chair, roll up, let's get to it, family. You know I love you. Let's rock like we do over here. Hey, there's only one way to be, and that's real. Fuck feelings. Only thing that matters is being real. There's only one way to go, and that's all the way in. And we gonna be real, and we going all the way in. Yes, love this feeling. All right, real one. Certified salute. Peace, love, and reparations, everybody. Get to the bag 24/7 non-stop. That's how we do right over here. I appreciate everybody. You know how it goes. It's always love, always. We out here focused, doing the work. You know, we doing the real work too. We not out here begging for recognition. We not out here trying to be acknowledged. We not out here throwing hissy fits. We not crying. We ain't doing none of that. We staying FBA. We staying certified. We getting to it like we do on the day-to-day. But first, I hope everything's going good in your life. I hope you're in good health. I hope your family's in good health. I hope everything is going absolutely lovely for you. Mind right, money right, bank right, everything right. Because if you stay focused and you got that right energy and that passion, you will achieve every single thing that you wish to achieve. I promise you that. As a matter of fact, I know it. Because FBA, we got that soul in us. We got that real soul. Unbreakable, unmatched, untouchable. And we continue to keep on pushing, and we continue to keep doing the work, and we're going to continue to make it happen. Yes. But damn, family. Has shit been real out here in these streets? Yes, it's always real. But shit get even more real from time to time. And every time it get more real, foundational Black Americans, we do what we do best. We step up to the plate and we handle it. And we've been handling a lot of things out here. We've been handling a lot of groups out here. We've been handling a lot of off-code people out here. And we've been handling anybody that's been getting in the way and trying to disrupt our reparations, trying to disrupt our passion, trying to disrupt our movement, trying to disrupt our future. If you get in the way of any of those things, just know FBA gonna come see about you. And when we come see about you, we gonna sit your ass down personally. So as I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, make sure y'all bang that subscribe, make sure y'all bang that like button. As we always say right here, when it comes to foundational Black Americans, you got two choices. You can give that shit up, or you can get it took. But guarantee it's coming home to us. And that's exactly what's been happening. We've been bringing everything real right back full circle, right back to the center because it belongs to us. Nobody is bigger than the movement. Nobody is more important than the movement. Nobody is more important than the FBA that's standing next to you. When we move as a family. We move as a family structure. And anytime somebody starts thinking that the family belongs to them, or they got to get all the money, or they got all the control, or they're the boss. You know the people that wake up in the morning and they start putting badges on their shirt and they start calling themselves the goddamn captain. They start calling themselves the lieutenant and the colonel. Ain't nobody elect you. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Sit your ass down, okay? I'm Michael Jackson, you Tito. Sit your ass down. Nobody came to see you, Otis. Turn the fuck around and walk that away. And this is what's been happening with a lot of people out here. They've been trying to take our FBA movement and things that our ancestors and our elders have created. They've been trying to put their name on it. They've been trying to pull out their goddamn chalkboard, erase names of people who've been here, people who done put in the work, and slowly start to insert their name. And these is folks who just showed up. These ain't even people who are OGs. These is BGs. These motherfuckers who just came here last night at 12. Fuck that. It don't work that way. One thing about our community is that you're gonna earn respect. We give respect if people earn it. We're not people who hate. We're not people who are jealous. We're not motherfuckers who have vitriol or spite. That's for everybody else. People hate on us. So we know what hate look like. We just know it from the aspect of being a winner. They know it from the aspect of being a loser. You can tell real quickly who has that jealousy in them. You could tell real quickly who is petty, and you could tell real quickly who's in it for their self. And if somebody is in it for themselves, and we identify that person is in it for themselves, oh, we'll give them all the time in the world to be by themselves. Oh yeah, you want to be by yourself? You want to do it on your own? Okay, then you'll have all the time in the world when we run your ass off the block. We'll give you all the personal time you want. You can be personal with your ass that way. Because foundational Black Americans, we move as one. We move as a family tree. Y'all know right here on the Black Alpha Network, I say it consistently that we are a family. We are a true lineage, heritage, and culture, and we stand next to each other. And when we stand together, we are stronger than everyone else. And if somebody can't wrap their mind around that, if somebody shows up tomorrow, today, yesterday, 2 weeks from now, and they think that this movement is about them, and they think that this lineage belongs to them, this heritage is theirs, like it's got their fucking name on it, and everybody else has to raise their hand and beg for permission, motherfucker, please. And then people get G-checked. And boy, have them motherfuckers been getting G-checked out here in these streets. And that's the best part about it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Let's just tell you this. Them bow and arrows been put away. Them motherfucking bow and arrows been locked away, put in the closet. Motherfuckers done folded them bow and arrows up and won't ever see them again. They left them alone. Okay, because foundational Black Americans, we bigger than any of your little props. We bigger than any of your little games. And we bigger than any of these little groups who come around here and try to act like they somebody. You ain't somebody. You ain't somebody. The people in our community, they have stripes because they do the work. The people in our community, they get respect because they do the work. The people in our community, they get love because they do the work. If you ain't did any of that, you ain't put in no work, you ain't respected nobody, you done held 1,000 Twitter spaces and ain't made one power move, then you ain't getting no motherfucking love. And that's that, and we will sit your ass down. You get a little too hot, we're gonna put some water on you and cool you up. That's how we get down on the FBA side of things. Because it's about being true to yourself, and it's about being true to the community. It's understanding when you with your family, you with your family. You don't treat friends like family and family like friends. That's not how it go down. When it roll with us, it's either you an op or you family. And if you don't treat us properly, if you don't show the proper respect, if you don't go through the course of action to pay them premiums, then your ass is going to be spotlighted, highlighted, framed. And once your ass get framed, you get put on that big ass Summer Jam screen. They gonna throw your ass on that Jumbotron and you gonna get roasted. And I know y'all been seeing motherfuckers get roasted so bad, motherfuckers done left. The same motherfuckers who was running around here trying to speak on our name, trying to speak on our lineage, trying to take ownership of our whole culture, these motherfuckers is hanging out with tethers now. They done went to the tether side. They done hopped over the tether fence. Tethers is trying to hop the fence and come over here. These motherfuckers is trying to hop the fence and go over to the tethers. You know we roasted these motherfuckers. Goddamn shame. You know it's bad when the motherfucker is trying to get a passport to go back to his homeland. Motherfucker done packed his bags and he did reverse immigration. They opening the border saying, come on in, please. This motherfucker said, FBA done roasted my ass. Let me go back over there. Motherfuckers is catching planes to go home. Because that's what you call running a motherfucker off the block, running a motherfucker off the field, and running somebody's ass out the paint. And you will get your ass ran out the paint if you ever disrespect this lineage, heritage, and culture. And even more than that, you will get your ass roasted if you ever disrespect all of my brothers, sisters, kings, queens, the goddess, and the gods. FBA all day. And when we say FBA all day, that means that we regulate anybody who gets in the way, anybody who's got negative energy, or anybody who tries to cast a cloud over us. And I don't give a damn whether you foreign or domestic. I don't give a fuck if you think you on the inside or the outside, because anybody off code can get their ass put outside the house. You can get your ass booted down the fucking block. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck how many Twitter spaces you hold. I don't give a fuck how many bow and arrow emojis you put in your motherfucking hashtag. I don't give a goddamn who you is. If you disrespect my brothers, you disrespect my sisters, you ever disrespect my elderly, then your ass is going to get G-checked. And I see right now, we've all been coming together. You see what it is? I said this before, family. Y'all done heard me say it. I said G-checking motherfuckers makes us even stronger. Oh, when the whole family gets together, when the whole family identifies who an op is, and I'm talking about all the sisters, all the brothers, everybody who's on code. When we start G-checking motherfuckers together, oh, that makes us stronger. Identifying and regulating an off-code person and kicking their ass off the field, that makes the certifieds even more strong. It's like your family. It's like if you got an issue with somebody and all your brothers, all your sisters, all your cousins whoop somebody's ass together, man, you want to talk about some love? You want to talk about being on it? That's what I'm talking about, and that's what we've been doing. I've been seeing the whole family identify folks, regulate folks, and get their ass up out of here, and all that does is that serves a purpose. Trust me, running motherfuckers off the block serves a purpose. G-checking somebody serves a purpose. Pulling paperwork, that serves a purpose. That's a history lesson. I know sometimes people be like, man, we need to stop with all the fighting and all the infighting. There's a difference between infighting, between two people who are on code, opposed to somebody who's on code and off code. That's not an infighting, that's an insider versus an outsider. And we got to put that in real clear perspective. Because if you dealing with somebody who's off code, they not an insider. Therefore, that ain't infighting. Infighting is if I got a disagreement with my brother or sister, we got a slight disconnection, we may be going back and forth, we may get into it, but we do all that out of love. We do that all out of love. We've all met somebody, had somebody in our life, a family member, a friend, where we may get into it with them for a while. We may not even speak to them for a little bit, but they know we love them and we know they love us. And everything is Gucci. But when you start talking about somebody from the outside, somebody who has a completely different point of view, somebody who thinks they better than all of us, somebody who acts like we owe them something, that motherfucker ain't an insider, so that ain't infighting. That's an on code and an off code. So all that we need to get alongs, we not here to get along with motherfuckers who's off brand. If you off brand, you ain't on it, then your ass ain't one of us. And if you ain't one of us by that clear distinction, you ain't getting no passes. We not giving out no motherfucking brownie points. If you want a fucking cookie, take your ass to the bakery. You can get one with sprinkles on that motherfucker, some chocolate chips and all that. This foundational Black American movement, we not handing out ribbons or black participation trophies to no fucking body. And you're definitely not going to be an outsider who's off code and come up in the house and talk about we all family. That's the same shit tethers say. I'm not surprised that a lot of these groups got undercover tethers any goddamn way. $2 tethers as I call them. But I'm not surprised because you see a lot of that shit there, right? Y'all know how the tethers come over here and they say, we's all blacks now. We all friends now. Ain't that what a lot of off code people say? They say, well, why is we infighting? This go on both sides. They're trying to spread it around. How many times we know goddamn well this ain't no spread around situation. This ain't no everybody. This ain't no 50-50 split. A lot of people that I know have been calling out a lot of these off-code folks, and it could have been taken care of a long time ago. But folks was in here saying, we needs to stop the infighting. Ain't no motherfucking infighting. Ain't no infighting. It's real ones regulating fake ones. It's on code regulating off code. It's certifieds regulating counterfeits, and that's the way we've been doing it. And when we do it the best. Do not be upset. Do not get your feelings hurt. Do not cry foul when you've been coming around foundational Black Americans trying to disrupt what we got, showing no respect to anybody, being filthy, raggedy, dirty, ratchet as a motherfucker, and then we tell you about yourself. And then especially watch what you say in return. Because we've been giving a lot of people grace periods. We've been giving a lot of people a free time. We've been allowing motherfuckers to get off and do their thing. But the problem with them that they're going to see now is that FBA is getting closer to the bag. Foundational Black Americans are locking this up tight. That door got about 5 dead bolts on it. That motherfucker locked up, shut down. It is strictly business. There ain't no play no more. We ain't got no more my bads in us. We are getting to the money, so it's getting airtight and all that sucker shit is getting ran out. The house is getting clean. We understand we are on the front doorstep. We are on the precipice of getting every single thing that we've achieved. We are on the precipice of getting every single thing that we've accomplished, and we are on the precipice of getting every single thing that we deserve. So you think we're gonna play with motherfuckers? You think we're gonna let some raggedy ass love and hip hop energy fuck up our reparations? Hell to the no. And anybody who got a problem or anybody who is an issue is gonna get their ass thrown right the fuck out along with it. That's how we doing things. So yes, I support G-checking people. I support regulating. I support pulling back paperwork. And I support running motherfuckers off the block. Because when it comes to foundational Black Americans, it's all about respect. It's all about respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what everything we do revolves around. We show respect to each other. We're good people. We're good energy. This is how we've done so many great things. This is how we've achieved so much. It's by showing respect. Respect is the centerpiece. It's the cornerstone of our whole lineage. Our whole lineage revolves around respect. You know what it is when you see your grandparents or you see someone else's grandparents. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. That's how we show respect. We don't step in there ratchet and be like, man, we don't give a fuck. Fuck what it is, man. We delineate shit. Fuck no. Who the fuck raised these people? That's not FBA culture. Cussing at elders, that's not FBA culture. Disrespecting sisters, that's not FBA culture. I'm not surprised that they ran by tethers, okay? Or a bunch of overly sensitive men, grown ass teenagers. I'm not surprised by that because you see the same type of behavior being exhibited. And it ain't just these one little motherfuckers right here, it's a bunch of people. And a lot of outsiders who bring in a bunch of that love and hip hop shit to the Black community. We are serious. We are about business. We are about to get everything that we deserve. We ain't got time for none of that ratchet shit. If you want to be ratchet, you go to the fucking BET Awards. All right? You want to be ratchet, you go to a fucking rap concert. When we sitting here talking about FBA legislation, I don't want to hear that. When we sitting here talking about FBA political claims, I don't want to hear that. And not only do I not want to hear it, I damn sure don't want you trying to center yourself in the middle of the conversation because that doesn't work out good for any of us. Anybody who thinks they're going to love and hip hop their way to reparations, it ain't happening. Anybody who thinks they're going to pop, lock, and drop it on their way to reparations, it ain't going to happen. Anybody who thinks they're going to twerk for justice, ain't going to happen. It's the same type of energy y'all see, family. It's the same type of energy you see whenever there's a protest about a race soldier harms another Black person, and then people show up to the protest and start doing the two-step. They start twerking. They start having barbecues. They start line dancing. They start stripping. Y'all remember the stripper? A motherfucker was literally out there stripping in front of the police like that was going to do anything for the movement. We got to get these little agent provocateur, agent of chaos, bootleg ass people out the movement, and that's why I'm glad this right here is happening. And trust me, it's going to happen again. I've had conversations with a couple of my friends, and we spoke about this right here is a lesson. This right here shows us that we can gatekeep as a collective. It's okay to gatekeep individually, but sometimes the whole family needs to come together, all right? We need to have a motherfucking intervention up in this bitch and say, no, that's wrong, that's off code, this is how we're gonna handle it. This is how we're gonna do it. Every code has to have enforcements, and every code has to have enforcers. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you's being mean to somebody who's off code. Don't ever let nobody come and tell you you being wrong for checking someone who's off brand. Anybody who does that is only supporting off-code behavior, OCB. We ain't got no time for OCB. We out here trying to get to the bag. So when you have a code, the first step of a code is enforcing the code. If you have no enforcement, then you don't have a code. So when we out here G-checking folks, whether that comes in the means of roasting, whether that comes in the means of pulling paperwork, whether that comes in the means of putting your face on that big ass screen and shaming your ass right off the field, then that's what it has to do, and that's what it is, and that is enforcing the code. And remember, the same thing that has you enforcing the code today is because people didn't enforce the code yesterday. Let me say that again. How do you think we got so much of an influx of Democratic coons running around here? Because ain't nobody enforced the code. How do you think we got so much of an influx of tethers running around here eating off our culture? Talking about we's all Black, brother. How come you think we got all that? It's because people were not enforcing the code. That friendly, diddly, winly shit has never worked for foundational Black Americans. Because foundational Black Americans are the most exceptional people, and everybody wants a piece of what we have. Everybody wants to get in on what we've created. And anytime you are a special person, you got to always keep your eye open. You got to always regulate. You got to always make sure that somebody who's coming around here ain't trying to infiltrate. And people didn't get that in the past because they was too worried about being nice. They was too worried about being friendly, diddly, windly. They was too worried about not upsetting anybody. Remember this, true liberation and empowerment is not about acceptance from outsiders. It's about respect from your family. Once the family's on code and respects, then we can regulate anybody who has no business being here. And before, too many people came up in here because it was, can't we all get along? All lives matter. All that all lives matter stuff, that's basically saying don't enforce the code. All that can't we all just get along shit, that's basically saying don't enforce the code. And if somebody doesn't want you to enforce the code, that means that there's somebody who is off code. It's simple A and B. It ain't even that difficult. It is not rocket science. It ain't calculus. It ain't algebra. It ain't any of that. It's just some straight up fact checks, truth checks, reality checks. So family, don't ever let nobody tell you you wrong for calling out some stuff that needs to get called out. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you being mean or you need to worry about someone's feelings. Don't ever let anybody shame you from doing what you know is correct, and never let anybody shame you on doing what you know is right for the betterment of our community. That's what it is. If you always think community first, you always put FBA family tree above everything, don't hear all that other stuff. That shit's just noise, man. That's just somebody trying to stop you from locking your door. Don't let nobody stop you from locking your door. Don't let nobody stop you from putting up no trespassers. Don't let nobody stop you from putting up a code of conduct, because those people trying to stop you from doing those things are people who are going to be the ones breaking all the rules. And we ain't got time for the rules to be broke. Only thing we have time for is to get this goddamn money, to get this reparations, because that's the path that we're on and that is our destination, getting to the bag. Now, let's break down a couple more things, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's been a whole lot of shit going on out here in the world, a whole lot of things popping off. And one thing I want to talk about is how this movement right here is not a movement of acknowledgement. This is not a movement of glitz and glamour. People got to understand that. Some folks get upset. Some people throw little hissy fits and they start whining when they don't get acknowledged. But everybody knows this foundational Black American experience, being a revolutionary, being an activist, you do this out of your heart. You do this out of love. You don't do this shit to be on the red carpet. You don't do this shit to go to the goddamn Grammys or the Emmys. There is no rewards or awards for this work that we put in. The only thing that you get in return is the love from your people, is the respect from your people. That is it. Do you know how many black people have come in this planet and done work for other black folks that we don't even know who they are? We understand a bunch of our leaders and our pillars from the past. We understand them. They get praised. But there's so many people rank and file that put in the work. Do you know 80% of the Black Panther Party were women? They were foundational Black American sisters. You hear about the Huey Newtons, the Bobby Seals, the Fred Hamptons, the Eldridge Cleavers. But for every one of them, there were 5 regular sisters that were out there answering the phones, out there cooking the meals for the food program, cleaning the house, because they used to live in what they called Panther pads, where all the Black Panther people were being trailed and they were being followed. So they said, let's just leave our regular lives alone and let's live together. And they had whole families. Basically, they would all live together, and the sisters was out there putting in the work. And the sisters was out there on the front lines of the protest. That's why every time you look at the Black Panther protest, you see sisters more than anybody. Rank and file. That is what it is. We may not know these people's names. We may not know where they came from, but they came in, they did the work, and they put it down. That's what it's about. They didn't stop and wave no flag and say, hey, I'm the leader of all this. I'm the mama of the community. And let me say this real quick. Y'all notice that the 2 groups that was running around here saying that they got mamas in the community are the 2 groups that fell flat on their face? Y'all notice that? I can only think of 2 groups that say, I'm the mama of the community, and then somebody else in another group was a great-great-grandmama, and she was twerking and doing all that kind of stuff. Y'all notice that the group that had these 2 people that claimed to be the mother of the community are the 2 groups that didn't even have 5 minutes of fame? They had 1 minute and 5 seconds of fame? Ain't that a motherfucker? Moving on. This game is not about acknowledgement. So when you see them rank and file sisters in any of the eras, the civil rights era, the Reconstruction era, the brothers as well, they weren't running around here with a damn shirt that says sponsored by. They didn't take credit for anything that the movement done. Now you got black folks running around here right now saying they created reparations. The reparations conversation has been getting spoke about for years. Dr. Claude Anderson was speaking about reparations in the 1970s, and not once has he ever said that he's the leader of the reparations conversation.
But let me preface that by simply saying that if you hear about reparations, get this very firmly fixed in your mind. You're not here for a parlor discussion. It's not something to talk about that's nice. If you don't get reparations, black folk, you're through in this country. Let me be that very specific for you. You see, what's happening to black Americans is that black Americans have been systematically socially engineered into the lowest level of a real-life monopoly game. You do not own and control a sufficient amount of anything to be competitive in America. And you've been marginalized now for 400 years. You're getting ready to be buried. You can get buried under at least a whole broad groups of ambiguous groupings. That's everything from culture groups, language groups, and gender groups. You're going down. It's no longer an issue. You better get reparations and get it fast. Now, to get reparations, one of the things I've been trying to do now for 30 years, beginning with the state of Florida, when Governor Reuben Askew put me over education, when they had no blacks in politics in Florida, was to write the first affirmative action plan in the United States, and that was written to be reparations for black folk in 1971.
Black folks have been protesting really for 400 years, and ain't one black person said, I'm the leader of the protest. And let me say this as well. If you take the name protest and you get rid of it and you start calling it a pull-up, that's still a protest. You're still doing the same exact thing. You're protesting and you're doing a rally. You can call it a pull-up all you want to, but just because you changed the name doesn't mean that you changed the game. Understand that, know that, believe that. So folks is running around here saying they did these pull-ups and they did all these things and they deserve the credit for it. And then they're trying to get mad at the news for not covering it. They're trying to call people out. Once again, that negative, loving, hip-hop ass shit. We don't need that. The new black media is out here putting in work. The new black media is out here putting it down, working through censorship, working through so much, trying to get the message to the people, trying to deliver it. We don't need folks saying, well, you ain't saying nothing about me. I mean, they went after everybody. Everybody. Black folks that are really calm, cool, and collected, they was going after them. So if you going after the decent, mild-mannered folks in the community, you know you got it fucked up. You got it fucked up. What Kanye West say? Tell me what's good. How I only got a problem when you in the hood. Y'all know the person that everything be cool until they come around? The person that's always in the middle of every beef. If there's 10 conflicts in the community, he's in all 10 of them. What they say on Friday? He said, get out of here. You always got some shit going. Y'all know the person who always got some shit going? It's the same faces. Same faces over and over again that you always see contributing not to the betterment, not contributing to the empowerment, but contributing to the nonsense, contributing to all the drama. And anytime you see the same face in the middle of all the drama, that person has exposed themselves. They've exposed themselves as somebody that is off code and we need to go ahead and regulate. And that's exactly what we're doing. And let me say this as well. If somebody's getting upset and on one hand saying how great their pull-ups were and how wonderful their pull-ups worked, would they be getting mad if it wasn't getting reported? If it was so good and it was such a success, would you be getting so mad? Would you be screaming at everybody? How many times does someone ever do something that worked and then they complained about no one talked about it? Trust me, if it worked so well, you wouldn't be so upset right now. So it sounds like it's a failure and you're trying to project your insecurities on other people. Sometimes you may just not be as big as you think you are. Sometimes you may only exist on a Twitter space. Let's be real. Sometimes you're not so big outside. Everybody's outside. Quit talking about outside like you own outside. Folks is running around talking about something. We outside. Yeah, and so is my fucking dog. And so is the fucking birds. I park my car outside every goddamn night. Okay, the fucking whole world is outside. Goddamn, you own outside now too, I guess, huh? You own reparations, you own protests, you own the media, and now you own fucking outside. Motherfuckers get too big for their britches, as we say down here in the South. Motherfuckers done got way too big for their motherfucking britches. And now they think that they own everything. And this is what I'm talking about. These are folks who believe that they are bigger than the community. Difference between us and them is that we are for the community, by the community, because we are the community. These folks think they are above the community, better than the community, and superior to the community. And if you sit back and you listen, they'll all expose themselves. That's the difference. So don't be mad when your things didn't pop off. Don't be mad. And another thing that you see folks get mad at, and like I said, we just naming names and dates. There's this whole thing where folks get mad at who you stand next to. That's what it is. Imagine you standing next to your brother or sister and someone says you can't be next to your brother or sister. Or imagine you standing next to your best friend and they say you can't be friends with them. I see a lot of that going on. I've seen a lot of that going on. And we all know who be doing that. I done personally had folks tell me, why are you standing next to this guy? Why are you standing next to that guy? Because that's my partner. That's somebody I work with. This is somebody who got respect. And when you start speaking about this other group, that's one of the main things. Oh, you friends with them? Cool. Now mind you, I ain't never said nothing. You know me, I'm on my Black Alpha Network, Certified Black Society path, putting it down, positive, trying to uplift the people and staying true to the message of foundational Black American empowerment. How the hell can you be mad at that? Well, I guess somebody who can be mad at an elderly person. I guess somebody who can disrespect someone's children. I guess those are the same people who will get mad at you for just being true to yourself. So when you over here staying true to yourself, minding your foundational Black American business, and somebody starts sneak dissing, we hear and we see everything, whether they know it or not. Matter of fact, there's a brother out there, my brother, somebody I've been down with since day one, somebody that a lot of you guys follow and I follow as well, somebody who's earned so much respect for foundational Black America, Certified Black Society, that we all rock with. He's been calling out these people since day one. Before it was cool, before it got popular, he was speaking the real. And since that's my brother that I've literally stood side by side with in this Black activism game, they started throwing shots at me. Sneak dissing, boy, I'm talking about all kinds of shit. They would sneak dissing me and throwing little shots at me here and there, and y'all know we see and we hear everything. Nothing goes unnoticed. So I guess they haterism kicked in and they jealousy kicked in because me and my brother do big numbers. And you know, when you do little numbers, you get jealous of those who do big numbers. So the jealousy in the form of clout chasers kicked in, and it's all good because we understand that's what clout chasers do. So I take the approach like this. If I stand next to my brother and you got a problem with me standing next to my brother, then your ass gonna always have a problem because I'm gonna always stand next to my brother all day. Y'all know how FBA are. When it comes to your family, I know y'all the same damn way. Ain't nobody on earth gonna tell you you can't stand next to your fam. You out your rabbit ass mind. Black Alpha don't go for that. You should have known better. And there were some people over there on that side that rock with me, that were completely civil with me, and I'm civil in return. It's all good, G-O-O-D. But they got so many different ways, this shit gets so messy, it's like whatever. They start sneak dissing you just because you standing next to somebody that you got respect for. That ain't how the game is played. I'm gonna do a lot of things in life, but I'm never gonna tell somebody who they can and cannot hang around. That's what a lot of these folks be doing. They get mad at you because they may have a petty ass beef with somebody, and that person they have their little petty ass beef with just happens to be somebody you roll with, so now they want to throw that on you. That's how drama operates, family. Drama don't know how to keep to itself. That's why we say that shit is messy. It gets real messy because drama wants to lure people in. Drama wants to pull people in. It don't know how to just stay over here. They don't know how to have an issue with somebody and just keep it amongst themselves. They don't know how to do that shit. They want to have that same energy where they pull everybody down. It's kind of, once again, I'm not surprised that a lot of these groups got tether energy and they got tether leaders because it's that same shit that you see with tethers, that if I can't have it, can't nobody have it. I can't get it, then I'm gonna bring everybody down. You know how we say they got a backstabbing culture in the diaspora? A lot of these tether ran groups, these $5 FBAs, they bring a bunch of that shit over here to where they say, well, if you cool with him, then I ain't cool with you. And then next thing you know, drama's trying to pull you in. And once again, that's another reason why we G-check this shit. Black empowerment ain't got time for none of your messy ass drama. Not at all. All that gangster talk and you always talking about running up on other black people, hell no. If you really want to know some real truth, listen to how folks talk about running up on other black people. We are about to have a reparations rally. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Y'all know where I'm going. We're about to have a reparations rally, and these people were openly saying that they was going to hijack it for their own personal beefs. They weren't talking about reparations. They were talking more about jumping people than they were talking about getting to the reparations, than any type of legislation, than, executing our reparations claim. They weren't talking about any of that. They was talking about feuding and fighting, going there with groups, going there to fight. How are you going to openly sabotage our reparations movement, which is something that we put so much time, energy, and effort into? Black folks are literally out here putting it on the line so we can get what is rightfully ours, what our ancestors deserve, so we can set that precedence. And you talking about fighting people. And not just talking about fighting people, I'm talking about reckless. I'm talking about yelling, screaming, cussing, making open threats, all types of fugazi ass behavior was going on with these folks in these Twitter spaces. They was literally out here letting it be known what type of time they was on. They ain't even hide the shit. They was straight up telling everybody, when I see you here, and here, don't come. I done called my brothers gonna come. We all gonna be there. They were gonna bring in a lot of people that had nothing to do with the reparations movement. They was gonna call up their partners, their people, their homies, and then they was gonna all come through. So basically, they were going to bring a bunch of outsiders to this movement. Come on now. Now y'all know damn well when we start talking about FBA getting together and practicing excellence, we already know that we got the dominant society trying to prevent that anyway. We already knew what time was gonna be. We already knew that we had to stay careful, stay vigilant, take care of each other. We had to come there on love. We had to come there on respect. Once again, to go back to that word, respect. We were coming for respect. We were coming for love. A lot of us were talking about meeting with each other, building with each other, networking with each other. We was coming to really take this to another level. And these folks was coming talking about fighting. Bad energy, bad vibes. This is what we have to stay away from in this movement. We have to stay away from the bad energy and the bad vibes because these are going to be the people who try to derail what we got going. And the more we get on code, the closer we get to that bag, the more these people going to come out the woodwork. They're going to start jumping in and out. Everybody thinks it's just going to be like the Coons and the Democrat Shields and stuff. We already see them coming out, but it's going to be a bunch of these nefarious characters. These folks coming in here with that gangster talk. These folks in here cursing out elders. These folks out here making open threats. These are going to be the people that are going to try to derail the movement. We have a long history in America of this happening to any black grassroots. See, the black grassroots, since it's not the mainstream, the black grassroots is open to your average, everyday, rank and file black person. But that comes with a little drawback because once it's open to your everyday, average, rank and file black person, you see people coming into the movement who have no business being in the movement. You got folks who show up here who didn't give a damn about blackness a couple years ago. They was the same ones saying, man, y'all talking that black shit, man. Why you preaching? And then now, since we in the black grassroots, the certifieds, we've got things popping. We done got things bubbling. Now everybody wants to be a part of it. We all know being an FBA is the end thing. That's why we trend all day long. Everywhere you look, every time you turn around, it's all eyes on foundational black Americans. We are what's in. We are pushing the line. You see us trend more than these fucking rappers. You see us trend more than the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. It's always FBA. Like I said, it was foundational black American trending. I'm talking about spelled out foundational black American. And then it was FBA trending. And then it was FBAS, foundational black Americans. The same lineage trended 3 different times and it happened all summer. Reparations trends. Y'all know where all this is coming from. This is coming from us. So once it started coming from us and we started pushing the line and really putting some real power behind this, now a lot of them folks that was sitting on their couch, that was dusty as hell, was bootleg as hell, was talking all that, why y'all talking that black stuff, man? He ain't never gonna give us no monies. Y'all folks need to stop that shit. All that bootleg ass shit, that ratchet behavior. Now they say, man, this is cool. Cause you know, they follow what's cool anyway. Half these folks don't give a damn about nothing till it's popular. When it's popular, they'll act like they was the main one. And then they want to jump in front of the line. So when you got black folks out here putting in the work for decades, I'm talking about well documented, putting in the work, loyal to the soil, boots on the ground. But then you'll have somebody else who was just dotting it up, talking about they WAP, D-boying it up, didn't give a damn about the movement. Now they see it's something that they can get some shine for. So here they come jumping on board. Out of nowhere. And then when they jump on board, they jump into the front of the line. They pushing everybody back who was here for 10, 20 years. And they saying, let me come on in. It's that rap mentality. This ain't hip hop. This ain't where you can just come, make a hit single, and all of a sudden you the hottest rapper of the year. That ain't how it work right here. This is a game about setting precedents. This is a game about paying premiums. This is a game about putting in work. They don't understand that. And this is what happens when things become popularized. This is what happens when you see clout chasers. When you start chasing clout, you'll do anything for clout. And these folks will do anything for clout. The smallest little Twitter space where they get 50 people in it, that gives them some type of celebrity star status where they'll walk around and boss themselves up. Why do you think these people went from Pocahontas to Malcolm X? Why do you think these folks went from Geronimo to Martin Luther King? Had feathers all in their hashtag. Talking about we Indians, we deserve Indian reparations. They weren't talking about no real FBA stuff. No, because they never knew the game because they weren't a part of it. If you're not a part of the come up, if you wasn't a part of things going on, if you weren't observing and analyzing things, do not jump into the front of the line. And that's what happens. These folks think this is hip hop. We don't need the Megan Thee Stallions of the world. We don't want the Cardi B's, all right? That's what we run out the community. That's what the Democrats are always trying to give us. The Democrats are always saying, here, entertainer. Here, entertainer. Oh, new rapper, new song, put them in the black community. Let's derail foundational black Americans with a bunch of fucking rap music and a bunch of hip hop. Let's do that. Let's put the entertainers in here so they can throw salt in the game. Those are the things that we regulate and get out the game. But guess what? You got a lot of folks who may not be famous rappers, but they think like them. You got a lot of folks who may not be these super thoughts, but they think like them. and they're trying to weasel themselves right into our movement. That's why whenever you heard any of those Twitter spaces we were just mentioning, that shit sounds like a rap concert. It does not sound like intelligent, productive black people talking about reparations, talking about empowerment, talking about getting real things passed for the betterment of us. You ain't hear that? You heard them motherfuckers in there rap. I heard a dude rapping, literally talking about, let's have a rap battle about reparations. I'm not lying, family. I ain't lying. Straight up. They was really talking about, let's have a rap battle about reparations. That shows you they want to be rappers. They don't want to be reparations. They want to be rappers. They don't want to be black empowerment. They want to be rappers, and not even good rappers. I'm talking about shout out to all the folks out there making that real solid, strong FBA music. They weren't trying to make no good, solid, strong FBA music. They were trying to make that same dusty ass shit that the Democrats always feed us. They want to come up in here and give us that same played out song that you hear 30 times on the radio. Something of no substance, something that has no significance. That's what they were on. We don't need Cardi B leading my reparations movement, whether that is the real Cardi B or somebody in one of these Twitter spaces who thinks they're Cardi B. We don't need Megan Thee Stallion trying to lead our reparations movement, whether that is the real Megan Thee Stallion or somebody in these Twitter spaces who thinks they're Megan Thee Stallion. We don't need Little Baby, Dub Baby, Big Baby, Small Baby, Bebe's kids. We don't need none of them leading our reparations at all. Man, this ain't rapping for reparations and twerking for justice. Get your mind right. And this is what we gatekeep, and this is what we G-check. We prevent all of that. We want reparations in the form of cash payments, not reparations in the form of WAP. And that's what some of these Democrats and some of these off-brand people will try to sell us. And as we were speaking about the Black Panther Party earlier, you got to understand, back in the 1960s and 70s, when the black movement really got popping and it got popularized, just like right now, these things happen. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. This has been done before. What happened during the civil rights era when it started getting popular? A lot of folks who had no interest in black empowerment started to weasel their way in, and they made the block hot. These are the people who make the block hot. The certifieds don't make the block hot because we understand how to move. We understand how to navigate. We watch and we're very careful about what we do. These folks don't. The same person you see out there being reckless as hell, talking on the goddamn Twitter space, talking on the line, giving open threats and just saying all these things they're gonna do, that person ain't gonna be here when the shit get real. That person gonna pack his bags and run. They come to make the block hot and they leave. Look right now. These people that we talking about, they was running around here saying FBA. And as soon as we called them out on their poor behavior, now they say, oh, we're not FBA no more. Now we just BAs, Black Americans. Wait, hold up. You come into the community, you spew all of this toxic ass shit, you cussing, talking about hijacking our reparations movement, talking about beating up other foundational Black Americans, calling black women out their name, disrespecting our elders, and making it hot for everybody else. And soon as things don't go your way, you want to say you're not FBA no more. You based your whole thing about this lineage and being so deep on our lineage, but once we start calling you out, now you don't want to be an FBA no more, you just a BA. What do you call somebody who does that? What do you call somebody who comes in, creates all type of confusion, starts all type of fires, creates all type of drama, and then they just leave? That's an agent of chaos. That's why you said they created chaos and then they fled. That's the same thing that happened in the Black Panther Party. That's the same thing that happened in the Civil Rights era. Folks was coming in off their couch and said, oh wow, this black thing is in. Let me go get me a leather coat. Let me blow out my hair or the afro. Let me ball up my fist and put it in the air and say power to the people. Let me go out in the Black Panther Party with some arms and self-defense. But they didn't really give a fuck about that. They wanted the notoriety that it brought. They understand that foundational Black American culture is very appealing to the world, but it's also very appealing to black folks who really don't give a damn. We always talk about the tethers and outsiders who want to eat off our culture. There's a lot of black folks who want to eat off our culture, but they ain't really down for the squad. But they ain't really down for the family. So folks was getting off their couch in the 1960s and 70s. The same folks who were out there on that chaotic, toxic shit then was jumping off their couch, running down to the nearest office, signing up, making the block hot, and then they left. It's the same thing that was happening right now. Folks was in here leaning and rocking. They were doing the stanky leg. They was doing the fucking nay-nay. They didn't give a damn about the work that we were putting in. They don't understand that where we are now, people were fighting 10 years ago, 20 years ago, just to get where we are today. They weren't concerned about 10 years and 20 years ago. They treated this like a goddamn rap song. They said, let me get off my couch, go get in on all this coolness, go get in on all this fun. Being an FBA is in right now. Being an FBA is trending right now. And if I act like an FBA and I put a badge on my shirt and say I'm the leader and I'm delineating and I'm the king of this community and I'm the mama of the community, then maybe I can get some play. Maybe a couple girls will like me. Maybe I can go to the club. Maybe I can show all these people how great I am. That's what I'm talking about. Think about it. The same folks who run around here wanting acknowledgement shows you that that's the only reason they're in the game. Yes, trust and believe. Somebody who wants you to kiss their ass, someone who wants you to bow to them, someone who wants you to tell them how great they are, that shows you that's the only reason they're even here. Not for the work, not for the accomplishments, not for the empowerment, but for their own personal acknowledgement. And this ain't a game for that. So folks came in the 1960s and 70s. They made the block hot for the whole civil rights era. All these crackdowns and things that started happening was based on folks who was running their mouth, getting in front of camera, saying shit they had no business saying, and not moving strategically, not moving with a cause, not moving with a purpose. They were moving for their own benefit. They were moving for their own luxury. And that's the same thing that happens right now. Ain't nothing new. Folks is hopping off that couch, watched a couple rap songs, put out a couple singles and a couple mixtapes. They songs didn't do good. They couldn't get any traction in their music career. They couldn't get any traction as a producer. So they said, well, let me go start a Twitter account and maybe I can go get the fame that I couldn't get by rapping in the black empowerment movement. And I promise you, just like in the 60s and 70s, the same folks right now who's doing that shit today, they won't even be giving a damn about blackness 10 years from now. Shit, probably 5. That's what happened. Oh, believe. All them folks in the 80s that was out there doing all that toxic shit, in the 1970s, they was acting like they was the warriors. They was out there acting like they were down for the cause. 10 years later, you wouldn't even knew they was Black Panthers. I actually seen a guy, a Black Panther. He said it. He said, half them folks y'all seen with them leather coats and shit, half them folks you seen starting all that shit, he was like 5 years later, man, they didn't even tell you they was Panthers. They moved on with their life and didn't give a damn. They weren't in it for the movement. When you in it for the movement, you in this for life. This is your passion. You're determined to sit back and see it. This is why you have people like Dr. Claude Anderson, Neely Fuller. Neely Fuller is in his 90s and he is still holding it down for black people. These folks won't even make it 2 years. Just like a rap career. I mean, once again, y'all see, we got receipts. I'm just connecting the dots and I'm lining it all up. The same way a rapper come out here, he'll put out a little mixtape, he'll give you about one summer of songs and then he disappears and he goes and does another job. That's the same thing that's gonna happen with a lot of these people. They gonna come in the game, they gonna stir shit up, they gonna make the block hot, and they gonna be on to the next thing. Blackness ain't no fad for us. Blackness ain't no new wave for us. Blackness ain't no trend for us. We out here 24/7, 365 putting in work all the time. Sacrifice. These folks are out here for clout, for shine, for acknowledgement, and for their own personal gain. And family, we here right now to separate the I's from the we's. We here right now to separate the personal from the collective. We here right now to separate the community builders from the clout chasers. And that's what it's all about. Clout, that's it. Y'all know what it is. It ain't a big game. It's easy to see. It's all about clout. You got to understand, we live in an era right now where people will do anything for clout. With these cell phones, these cameras, social media, Instagram, you got folks right now committing crimes and putting that shit on camera and just showing the whole world what they about to do. Look at DJ Vlad. Look at all the rappers who go on DJ Vlad and tell you what they did, tell you what they about to do, just snitch on themselves. Back in the old days, motherfuckers would keep everything to themselves. They'd keep things silent. They'd keep it locked away. Now, man, it's just an open book. They say, I'm going here on Thursday at 12 o'clock. Pull up, come see me. I'll be down the street, across the block from the corner store. I'll be wearing a red t-shirt. I'll be in a white car. All cameras on me. That's what motherfuckers will do, just so they can get one piece of clout. Clout that don't even last long. So if people are doing that in their real world, what you think folks is doing out here in this social activism world? They doing the same exact thing. That's why it is our onus to keep that type of energy out of the community. Look at all these groups that have popped up. Y'all tell me one of them that's been true. Tell me one. Y'all remember this group?
They are known as the NFAC. They are known as the NFAC, an armed all-black militia. An armed all-black militia. You might have seen a protest in Georgia, Kentucky, and Washington, D.C. Their stated goal, to defend the black community by any means necessary.
Yeah. Remember that? Remember the Not Fucking Arounds coalition? Remember that shit? You had motherfuckers running around here talking all types of reckless shit. And you had folks that was out here defending it. You had folks saying, man, no, man, that's a good organization. He's a goods leader. Motherfuckers running around here with a reckless organization, saying reckless shit with no true plan, all types of flags, fouls, and penalties. Didn't nobody trust shit they was saying, and they was literally getting folks to put their names on paper. Now they got a file on all y'all asses. This is how gullible a lot of these people are. That's why certifieds, we don't move until somebody's been vetted. And we actually operate off the code of everybody is to be vetted. Nobody's bigger than the community. Nobody is bigger than the lineage. Nobody is bigger than the heritage. Everybody is subjected to being questioned. And like my motto always goes, if somebody does not want to be vetted or they think they're bigger than being vetted, then that person A, don't know how deep of a problem this is, or B, this person is the problem. And both of those answers are wrong. So that guy was running around here fake as hell. He was a hired guy. They literally hired this dude. He's an actor. This guy was running around saying all types of reckless shit. First off, he comes on the scene claiming he's a DJ. Ain't nobody ever heard of him before. Talking about I'm the guy y'all grew up with. I may not know y'all, but y'all know me. Who? Don't nobody know you? Ain't nobody knew this dude. Nobody seen this guy before, didn't know him from a can of paint or a hole in the wall.
Do you know me? Well, if you don't, you're about to. Come on. I'm the legendary Grandmaster J. If I say my name in any country, they go, yeah, I know that dude. Grandmaster J. They tacked on a legendary. I ain't figured out yet what I did that was legendary, except, no, let me stop. Today, I'm back because I need to introduce you to the future, because I've been so much a part of your past that I am the one to show you where we're going. 35 years I've been doing it, and now today, I'm proud to present to you the next evolution in the musical preview that we call DJ, what we call music delivery. This is the Grandmaster Beams, giving me the ability to do without anything in my hands what I've always done for years and years. I'm Grandmaster J. 35 years I've been in this game. I've seen you come, I've seen you go, I've seen you think you was hot, but 5 years later we don't even know the words to your song.
Then all of a sudden he just pops on the scene out of nowhere. Then he starts saying little reckless shit. Y'all remember when he was out here saying, we need to let the Bungaloo Boys come on down to our rallies. Let's work with the Bungaloo Boys. This man was openly saying that we need to go collaborate with supremacist groups. This is what he said. This ain't our words. That's what he said. Then he also said, all lives matter. Then he also said, don't get mad at America, go get mad at the Portuguese. You see all of these misdirecting tactics? What I always say, misdirection, misrepresentation, miseducation. This motherfucker did all three of them. All three of them. Be cool with the Bungaloo Boys, collaborate with the Bungaloo Boys, all lives matter, and don't go get your reparations from America, go get mad at the Belgium because they started slavery. What kind of shit is that? And all that is before he was running around here with arms trying to get black folks to sign up. He was doing that fake militant shit. I'm telling you, he sounded just like a motherfucker from a 1970s black exploitation film. That's what he was. He was a fake militant. He was a fake DJ. He was a fake revolutionary. And then come to find out through receipts, and this is why vetting is so important for all them folks out there who say, man, just let them go. Be nice to them. Y'all vetting everybody. That's not good. We need to be friends. Can we all get along? Nah, fuck that. We can't all get along. We only need to get along with the real ones, and everybody on that bullshit need to get gone. There's a difference between getting along and your ass getting gone. And that bullshit is getting gone out the fucking door, through the fucking door, around the fucking door. One way or another, you getting your ass kicked out. So as he was running around here with this fake ass organization, Scam Master J, they be coming out here with fake army gear, fake military uniforms. Hey, and the whole name, Grand Master J. Man, he came up with that shit because it sounds like Jam Master J from Run DMC. This is what I'm talking about. The same way they try to go slide in them entertainers, the same way they try to always hit us up with some type of hippity bebop type shit, that's why they came up with the name. When they found this guy, they said, hey, let's make a fake name that sounds very reminiscent of an old school hip hop legend, and it will just trick everybody. Because the average person really thought this was Jam Master J. People who don't really know hip hop and folks who aren't hip hop heads, they didn't know. They were like, ain't there a Jam Master J and a Grand Master Flash? Let's mix the two of them up. You see that type of shit, we'll put them in some fake fatigues, some fake uniforms. We'll try to sell them off to the community. We'll try to sell them off to the people as some type of pillar. And that's why he was running around here talking about something. Man, I've been in here for 40 years making rap songs. What songs? You been out here DJing. What DJ? And then when the real hip hop heads in New York, they were like, we don't know this dude. Is he even from New York? Like, he talked about being a pioneer. No one know who this dude was. Then we come to find out through receipts, through vetting, through paperwork, this is the beauty of gatekeeping, regulating. We come to find out this man was working security for Donald Trump. Oh yes, he was. Working security for Donald Trump. The videos came out. You clearly see this motherfucker with an earpiece sitting next to two goddamn W's. This guy was working straight up security. So somehow in the process of this man being a DJ, being a revolutionary, being an activist, he was also a security guard. And then he denied all that shit. How you denying shit when we got cameras on you? That's what I'm talking about. When it come to clout, motherfuckers to do anything. And there was a lot of black folks out there who just didn't know no better, but they weren't sticking to the code. They made the mistakes. Some black folks out there, they knew better and they did the shit anyway. But then a lot of them really thought this was something genuine. And they was like, yo, let me sign up. They was giving their names, social security numbers, dates and stamps and times, and then handing it over. You got to be careful about a lot of these off-coded, off-brand motherfuckers running around here claiming to be down. That's why we say there is no leader. The code is the leader. See, when you don't operate as the code being the leader, then you start looking for a person to be the leader. You start saying, he's the leader, she's the leader, that's the leader, that's the mamas of the community. You feel me? Once you start thinking like that, you start putting people in position that ain't got no business being there. Because remember, there's always going to be a scams master J's running around here. There's always going to be a Tone Babble. And there's always going to be a Strappy. And they're going to always run around here trying to put themselves in a position that they know they couldn't get on their own. See, that's what it is. All these fake ass people out here who are trying to put themselves in some type of high regard, they know in reality they can't get shit unless it comes to duping the people, unless it comes to manipulating the people, unless it comes to confusing the people. If it was all based off merit and it was all based off the truth, they asses would be what they always been. Bootleg in the back of the fucking line. But when it comes to tricking motherfuckers, that's the only thing they can do. So next you know, they come up with these little fake ass organizations. They come up with these little fake ass groups, these little fake ass tribes. And then next thing you know, they got motherfuckers right where they want them on that bullshit. Shout out to all my certifieds who were calling it out. Motherfuckers was saying Scam Master J was fake. Motherfuckers was regulating all that shit. We was like, who's this? Queen Alpha hit me up personally. When this guy first popped on the scene and she said, that motherfucker right there, an imposter. And come to find out what? His ass was an imposter. And they're all imposters. That's exactly what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a bunch of fake ass imposters who ain't got no realness in them. The real foundational black American pillars, the real foundational black American certifies, it shows our documentation is on the table. These motherfuckers ain't got no documentation. What happens? They show up overnight. This motherfucker just popped up on the scene, didn't know who the fuck he was. Then when you start tracing his background, that shit was filthy as a motherfucking dumpster. He had no record. As a matter of fact, anything you seen on his record was some shit that was outside of the community. It was working for Donald Trump. It was talking about the Boogaloo Boys and All Lives Matter. That motherfucker wasn't that solid. And then all of a sudden, he catches a case, allegedly, and then he comes off of this shit and he disappeared and went away. Did not say. They come, they talk all this toxic ass shit, they make the block hot for all the real ones, and then they leave. That's the one denominator you're gonna see about all these people. They show up, they cause confusion, they create chaos, and then they're gone. The real ones who've been here since day one, we're always the one having to clean up the mess and to lift the weight from what these other imposters created. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna be here putting in work with a movement, getting real momentum, and somebody comes in for 5 minutes and creates a problem that we got to deal with for 50 years. That's why we have so many issues now that we've had to gatekeep. That's why we've had to circle our wagons, because all the motherfuckers back in the day, all those imposters, all those agents that was here for 5 minutes, all those people who was chasing clout back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, motherfuckers was chasing clout in the 90s and the 2000s, and right now they still chasing clout. They come in for 5 minutes and create chaos that lasts for 50 years. We're not having that. We're going to G-check this shit in real time. I say this is the real time era. Well, this is the real time era, which means we're going to get our reparations in real time. We're going to get our tangibles in real time. And we're going to G-check motherfuckers in real time. Ain't no waiting. So Scam Master J, look at him. He gone. He gone, disappeared. We ran him off the block. Got him up out of there. He's living his best agent life, but guess what? He living that motherfucker away from foundational black Americans because we pulled his paperwork all the way the fuck back and booted his ass to the fucking curb. That's how you do it. But Scam Master J, they're not fuckings around this coalition. They're not the only people to come around, pretend to be for the community, pretend to be for the lineage, and pretend to be for the people, and then flip it up. There's another group out there as well, and they're called the American Democrats of Slavery, right here.
You just gotta do better. Everybody, listen, everybody just gotta do better. You just gotta do better. Everybody, listen, everybody just gotta do better. Because you have all these little splinter groups, and let me say something. Splinter groups, y'all are all, except for Umar Johnson, who is Pan-Africanist, and we'll get to this in a second. Y'all are all the little wayward children of ADOS. That's all you are. That's all you ever will be, is little wayward children. You are nothing. You did not create yourself. I'm your mother, like it or not. You walk around saying my words, acting like you created yourself.
Oh, let's get on them because we know they bullshit. We know they bullshit. They have been framed and exposed a long time ago. This group, and it's a damn group, as a matter of fact, it's not just a group, it's a political organization. Matter of fact, it's not just a group or political organization, it is a democratic political organization. Yes, they are. This group are a bunch of democratic shills, okay? This is what happened. They understood that foundational black Americans aren't fucking with the Democratic Party. They understood that the benign neglect policies that the Democrats have always put forth in the past, we have broke the chains of that shit. Black folks don't run with that no more. So what they had to do is they had to find a sneaky way to try to convince foundational black Americans to vote Democrat. What way was that? They said, well, let's create an organization and we're going to pretend that it's about the betterment of foundational black Americans. We're going to pretend that it's about tangibles. We're going to pretend it's about black empowerment. But in reality, it's really about Democrat empowerment. Oh yeah, there's a lot of folks running around here trying to claim that they're about black empowerment, but really they're about Democrat empowerment. And they try to blur the lines and mix it up and make it real murky so we don't understand. This organization said, oh, the black grassroots wants reparations, let's base ourselves around reparations. Oh, the black grassroots wants tangibles, let's base ourselves around tangibles. Oh, the black grassroots wants certified empowerment and political power. Well, let's pretend that we're going to give them certified empowerment and political power. And they ran the whole gambit. They took all the lingo, all the words, ran that shit in circles. They started getting those same people who do not gatekeep and who do not vet properly. They started to confuse them. And once the confusion sets in, then comes the bullshit. So it goes con games, confusion, bullshit. So as everybody started saying, whoa, they talking about reparations. Whoa, they said we do need tangibles. Whoa, they did say Joe Biden was bad. They said that they got all the data. And then right after they had all the data, they said, by the way, vote Democrat down ballot. So right there, you seen exactly what the con was in the very beginning. They'll give you some bullshit for about 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. They'll butter you up as long as they can butter you up. But at the end, when shit counts, when things matter, that's when you see someone's true intentions. In election season, that's what they do. They're no different than your typical Democrat who runs around and says all these things they're gonna do for black folks and how black folks need to get this and do that and all that bullshit. And then when you actually look at the details, you see, man, that says people of color, that says all lives matter, that says minority. I don't see black in it at all. Just like Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams right now is running around here talking about, I got a plan for black men. And then when you look at the plan, not the headline, when you look at the details and you look at the sentences and the paragraphs, you don't see black men in there at all. And by the way, never trust any politician, no political organization or campaign that separates black men and black women, that talk about black men and black women separately. They don't do that shit for Mr. Smith. They don't do that shit for Mr. Julio. They don't do that shit for Miss Hernandez. They don't ever split them in half. But when it comes to foundational black Americans, they'll say, black men, y'all get this. Black women, y'all get that. No, we are intertwined. We stand together as one. Whatever you give to my sister, you give to me. Whatever you give to her brother, you give to her. That is how it is. And Stacey Abrams, you've been running around doing that. That's why your poll numbers is in the trash like they always are. All that singing and dancing can't help you. Sorry. Now, back to the American Democrats of slavery. American descendants of slavery or whatever the group is called. First off, that term right there can be remixed and twisted around. That's why they don't like foundational black Americans, because you can't twist that. You can't spin it, you can't flip it. Foundational mean the beginning, which means you built it. American descendants of slavery, you could kind of play that. What America? North America? South America? That's why a lot of tethers were coming and saying, we were slaves too. That shit is very tether welcoming, very tether friendly. And when you really look at the American descendants of slavery or Democrats of slavery or ADUNS, when you look at them, they didn't really have an FBA core. Their message wasn't truly FBA. It was kind of like some African American kind of shit. So I'm not surprised that the Democratic Party, who created the term African American, these little shield organizations still have that very tether-friendly vibe, and it's not based in foundational Black American lineage. Foundational Black Americans, we represent it to the core. ADOS and all that, they represent the Democratic Party to the core. So when they started saying little shit like vote Democrat down ballot, we seen it coming. You know why? Because we checked their paperwork. And when you look at that organization, a Democratic Shield organization, and they were very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. There go that word again, family. There go that word again, respect. Patti LaBelle told us all about it. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. There goes that word again. If you do not respect the people will not respect you. And that's why we never respected these groups. That's why we was calling them out from day one. Even when other people were being blinded, being confused, and falling for the bullshit, we weren't. We don't go for that, and we don't play that. They were very disrespectful, especially to some of our leaders and elders in the community. ADOS, shit, they used to talk all types of disrespectful things about Dr. Claude Anderson, Neely Fuller. Oh, and let me say this. You ain't gonna disrespect Dr. Claude Anderson or Neely Fuller on no level. Nope, not on my time, watch, clock, sundial. I don't give a fuck. Daylight savings, fall back, spring ahead. I don't give a damn what hemisphere you in, what hour of the day it is. You will show Dr. Claude Anderson and Neely Fuller respect, as well as all of our other leaders and pillars in the community. These people have put in work. These people have put it down. And you talking about some organization that showed up yesterday trying to bump themselves to the front of the line and got the nerve to disrespect the family? Like I said, that's like somebody coming in your house and disrespecting your grandma and grandpa. Who the fuck is you? You ain't in no position to open your mouth about any certified, let alone the pillars in the community. So we was looking at them side-eye. Hell no. We was like, nah, fuck them. All that, the data and reparations, we ain't give a fuck about none of them words, because that shit was just words. We watching your actions, and your actions is very disrespectful. And foundational Black Americans, we don't play that disrespect. You will respect us, period. And if you don't, you will get your wake-up call. And all these little fake organizations and all these conscious haters and all these jealous-ass people, they've been getting their wake-up call because we not playing them games at all. And this is why they have so much of a bone to pick with the new Black media. They can't stand the new Black media. You want to know why? Because the new Black media, we represent the people to the fullest. We represent the lineage to the fullest, and we go hard for this. We push that hard line, and they can't stand it because the people love us. Don't be mad because we earn the respect of the people, and you haven't. Don't be mad because you can't get your content off the ground. Don't be mad because people know who are real and honest. Don't be mad because the people know who they trust. And don't be mad because the people rock with us and they don't rock with you. The people have spoken. New Black media. And I never thought I'd see the day where people would hate on the new Black media. You know you got to be a hating ass, jealous ass person to hate on the new Black media. I mean, guys, damn. What you talking about? MSNBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, that's where you get your news from? I guess you must get your news from them because the new Black media are the only ones out here pushing that line and breaking real stories. Shout out to my brother Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, Professor Black, and all of the other content creators for the new Black media who put in that work, who rock with the people, or who represent the people in the real way. We're not running around here complaining saying, y'all didn't report on me. Y'all didn't have no story about us. That's because you ain't doing shit. You're not as big as you think you are. We reporting on people out here really making genuine moves. You out here doing small time shit, so therefore you gonna get small time coverage. Do not try to put yourself above the people. We wanna talk about reparations. There's millions of FBAs that we can report on. If you fit into that, cool. If you don't, cool as fuck. If you want to talk about tangibles, there's millions of foundational Black Americans pushing for tangibles. If you fit into that, cool. If not, cool as fuck. Don't be mad because you want some type of extra special privileges. You want a motherfucker to pat you on the head, give you some brownie points. You don't get none of that shit for doing something we've been doing. Come on, family. We talking about foundational Black Americans. We've been putting it in for years. How we gonna single out one small group and say out of all the millions of FBAs who've been putting it down for hundreds of years, y'all gonna get the crown on y'all head and you want somebody to bow to? Do you want to get reported on? Or do you want somebody to kiss your ass? Because there's a big difference. In FBA, we ain't kissing nobody's ass. So you can take that shit down the street. I know a lot of them was non-FBA any goddamn way. So maybe they need to hop on the plane and go back to their homelands and quit acting like you a real FBA because you're not. When you got that tether hairline and you got that tether jawline, we know you ain't, partner. So understand this. No, we not bowing down to nobody. Nobody's obligated to kiss your ass. And if you're running around here thinking that you're obligated to something, you just another organization who done came around and thought that they was bigger than the movement. The new black media, we are not bigger than the movement. We are the movement. We stand with the movement. Put in that work. We uplift. We inform. We stand next to the people. This is what it is. That's the difference. We love y'all. Y'all know I love you because I say it on every single episode. I love the foundational black American family tree with a passion. Have y'all heard any of them say that? Or do you hear them just say, report on us, put the cameras on us, it's all about us? Nah, it ain't. There's a difference between asking for love and begging for love. If you gotta beg for it, it ain't sincere. But if you get it naturally, then it's all the way real. And that's what we're on. Everything, all the way real, authentic. That's the FBA style. And that's the thing about foundational black Americans. We can hear the passion when someone speaks. You can really tell who's down for their people. They try to make, riding for your people some type of difficult, complex thing. No, the fuck it ain't. They may try to come up with the most complex lie. They may try to come up with the most complex trick bag. But just because somebody makes their bullshit complex, that doesn't mean seeing through the bullshit is complex. It's very easy to do. And we've been doing it for a long time. One thing about us and our lineage, we can hear the passion when somebody speaks, and we can hear through all the bullshit when someone's trying to game us. Okay? We don't need that energy at all because we too busy being foundational black Americans and excellent. That is what we are. Now, back to what we talking about. We know somebody who's on that bullshit and we see him coming from a mile away. That's just how the game goes. So when you see these little groups coming around, these American Democrats of slavery saying, vote Democrat down ballot, we knew what the fuck that meant. That basically meant give everybody who's going to help Joe Biden support. That means that they were in it for Joe Biden. And then you see that the same motherfuckers who are trying to act like they're not a part of the Democratic Party, when you look in their background, when you snatch some receipts, which we all did, you come to find out that they were all shills of the Democratic Party before. How the fuck you work for the Democratic Party, you based a career in the Democratic Party, but you trying to game us and tell us that you're not supporting the Democratic Party. All the meanwhile, while you telling us to vote Democrat down ballot. There's no motherfucking way around that. You are a Democratic shield. In the same way we run those overt Democratic shields out the building, same way we run them covert Democratic shields out the building. You're not fooling us, okay? Let's just get to the motherfucking brass tacks. You're not fooling FBA. If that's your whole game plan and your whole scheme is based upon fooling us, that shit ain't never gonna work. Never. Maybe back in the old days, but not today. That's why I say this era is completely different. This is the gatekeeping, G-checking, running motherfuckers all the way out the paint era, and that's what we're gonna continue to do in the most thorough fashion. And how do we know we right? Because when you look at it, you can easily tell. Look at the fate that all these organizations have met. They're all motherfuckers who come in overnight, and then their asses disappear overnight because we're the ones who got them the fuck up out of here. Look at ADOS. They thought they was on something, didn't they? Boy, they thought they was on something. They was charging people. Y'all remember that? When they was trying to charge people fees and shit to be a part of it? Y'all know. And then they tell you they wasn't an organization. They were saying, we are lineage. No, the fuck you not. You did not represent our lineage. You did not represent our heritage or our culture. You represented the lineage of the Democratic Party. You may represented the heritage of the Democratic Party or the culture of them motherfuckers, never us. You're not out here charging fees and shit. They was running all types of scams. Just like the Not Fucking Around Coalition and Scam Master J. The same motherfucking games that they was trying to run is the same games ADOS was running, and we made both the motherfuckers run. Only it wasn't run for office. Only it wasn't run your campaign, and it wasn't run the streets. It was run the fuck off the block. That's what they all got, ran the fuck off the block. Don't come up in here with that bullshit, man, please. Better go try that shit again on somebody else. And then, they all got to go back home to Zaddy. Zaddy's gonna call. I tell y'all, anytime Zaddy picks up his coon phone and he dials 1-900-COON and they answer and he gives them their orders are to trick us and they cannot trick us, they got to go back to Zaddy's principal's office. Every last one of them motherfuckers got lined up. That's why Scam Master J disappeared. Because they came to him, took all his butter biscuits away, stripped him of every motherfucking thing. And his ass got a race spanking. That's what the fuck happened to him, and he had to go sit down. That's why he disappeared. Because he failed. He was supposed to be an op. He was supposed to be an informant, and he came into the community and he got his shit exposed, so Daddy came down on him. That's the same thing that happened to ADOS. That's why you don't see him no more. These motherfuckers disappeared. I promise you, I be forgetting even who they are. That Tone, whatever the fuck his name is, Tone Tits, Strappy, them motherfuckers, Tone Tits and Strappy, goddamn. Anyway, them motherfuckers, I don't even know who they are. They disappeared off the scene. Nobody cares, and that's why they would get so mad. You see Strappy, she be having whole types of meltdowns. Y'all seen that meltdown she had about Marcel? She was pissed off. Why was she mad? Was that about Marcel really? Or is that really just somebody coming to grips and accepting that their little organization fell through the motherfucking cracks? That it ain't popping. Nobody gives a damn about it and they've been forgotten. She went off the deep. That's what too much plastic could do to you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yep, I said it. That's what too much plastic could do to you, boy, because you could just tell she slowly lost her mind even more. All the way into irrelevance. She just we didn't even have to run her out. She just walked her ass right out the goddamn house. And hey, she's what we call right now racially homeless. Ain't got nowhere to go. But like we say, you did that to yourself. If you're gonna be mad at the mirror. Glad that ain't us. When you get forgotten, that's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you thought shit was good. They thought they was good. They had a couple little fucking shows, or they did a couple interviews or something. Nobody knows who the fuck that was who interviewed them. Nobody knows who the fuck they are. I mean, they just disappeared, vanished. And that is a result of the people. We don't play that shit, and we make sure motherfuckers get the fuck out of here. And that's exactly what happened to them. So she's having meltdowns all the fucking time. You can just see the Democratic shield all in the motherfucking grill. And guess what? Who gives a fuck? Because we are in the paint. They went around blocking folks. They were just blocking anybody with FBA. Now, how are you supposed to be about the lineage, but you blocking folks who don't agree with you? That wasn't about anything other than jealousy. These are some jealous ass player hating people. And they got hate all in their veins. They got hate all in their face. And we can see that shit from a mile away. And I love it. I think it's funny as fuck. Because the people will always decide the future of any movement. This is the realest shit you could ever hear. When it comes to the people will decide. They're upset that little term they came up with, that shit didn't work. People didn't want that term, and they rejected it. Don't be mad that the people gravitated to foundational Black Americans because that represents who we are more true. That little AD or whatever the fuck, man, we know that shit means American Democrats to slavery. Motherfucker, don't tell me the D stands for descendants. That shit stands for Democrats. The descendants of who? Jimmy Carter? Bill Clinton? John Kerry? We know y'all motherfuckers represent the I'm not black, I'm a Democrat crowd. Same way O.J. Simpson said he ain't black, he's O.J. The same way these motherfuckers say they're not black, they're Democrats. Roland Martin is a damn Democrat. When you go and they sign up their little fucking lineage or they put their race on it, they don't click black anything. So we knew that ADOS stood for American Democrats of Slavery. We exposed them. That term is trash. The leaders are nobodies. And now they just disappeared. And that is the fate that everybody meets whenever they try to come against foundational Black Americans, because we are too exceptional. We are too powerful, and we are too special for anybody to come and game us. So this is what goes on when the family starts putting people on that Summer Jam screen, starts framing folks, and starts getting folks out of our business. Because FBA, this is our world, and everybody else is just living in it. I'm sorry, motherfuckers may not like that. They may hurt some motherfucking feelings. Well, you gonna be a hurt feeling having motherfucker then, because we don't stop for nothing. So the Not Fucking Around Coalition, G-check, out the paint. The American Democrats of Slavery, G-check, out the paint. And then there's another group out there that came around and tried to game foundational Black Americans, try to steal money, donations, and every fucking thing, try to live off the back of harmed brothers and sisters, and try to make millions, literally, off the back of foundational Black American pain and suffering. Now this group, they get a special fuck you, and I'm gonna let you hear it for yourself. Okay, that group right there, oh, that's the first group that we got all the way out of Dodge. BLM. They say Black Lives Matter, but you know what the B stands for, okay? Y'all know what it stands for. It starts with Bus and it rhymes with Cookie. Y'all put that together. You know what I'm talking about. That's what they're really about, because they've never been about our lineage. They're the people who sit back and watch foundational Black Americans get harmed, and then they swoop on in and they make all types of money off of it. And they were coming around here doing that from city to city, state to state. Like they had a fucking newspaper, and they were just sitting there watching this shit go on. And then they'd show up on the scene with a megaphone with all the cameras. Nobody knows who the fuck they are. And our brothers in Ferguson exposed them a long time ago. And that shit lasted, what, 5 minutes? I mean, we ran motherfuckers clear off the field in a matter of moments. That shit doesn't exist. You don't even see them no more. What you did come to find out is that every single thing that the Black grassroots, the real Black grassroots, every single thing that we said about them has came true. Their leaders were running around here stealing millions of dollars. This is what I'm saying about these groups that pop up overnight. Nobody knows who they are. They always start off with some type of hashtag, or they start off at some protest, and then they always get news coverage. Y'all notice that? When it comes to the real certified Black grassroots, they never cover us. We have to create our own media, the new Black media. We got to come up with our own films, our own documentaries. We got to crowdfund. We got to do everything out the mud. We got to literally stand next to each other just to get the word out. We have to build together. We don't even get federal legislation in this country. We got to create our own. They don't give us real candidates. We got to go get Black grassroots candidates. But all these other groups show up in the middle of the night and they got cameras and shit. They sitting here getting CNN articles and ABC and NBC cover them, but they don't cover the real Black grassroots that speaks to the real people. And it's funny because when you start talking to the average foundational Black American out here in these streets, they don't relate to none of this damn American Democrats of Slavery or the Not Fucking Arounds Coalition. They don't fuck with them, but these people always get the microphone. Black Lives Matter showed up getting the microphone because that shows you the same news that covers them is the same news that created them. They are all a creation of the dominant society. So you got to be very, very cautious of these type of groups that show up out of nowhere. They start off as hashtags, they start off as terms, and then they slide them in. And we knew to play with Black Lives Matter. This is the 21st century hustle. Start off as a hashtag, say Black Lives Matter, say ADOS, make people think that it's just a slogan, and then in the middle of the night turn it into an organization. The average black person thought Black Lives Matter was a slogan. They thought it was just a slogan. They thought it was like no justice, no peace, power to the people. They thought it was something very calm and simple like that. And then you come to find out these motherfuckers is an organization. And then when you find out they're an organization that you don't know where they get the fucking donations from, you don't know where the money goes to, you didn't know they had CEOs, they had COOs, they had a whole fucking operating corps. People didn't know that. Once again, be very careful of what you hashtag, be very careful of what you say, be careful of all these little slogans that come out overnight. There'll be another fucking slogan probably a year from now, and it'll be some fucking Black Rise Love Forever. And you'll be thinking Black Rise Love Forever is just a slogan. Then you'll come to find out these motherfuckers is an actual organization. This is what they do. Be very careful of the terms and what you hashtag and what you retweet, because that's the new game nowadays, is to hashtag your way into relevance. Because if you can get everybody to hashtag something and you can get everybody to tweet it out, they'll be tweeting it out thinking, oh, okay, that's just a term. But now next thing you know, the whole goddamn world is saying it, and then here come the donations. Black Lives Matter was getting billions of donations. Think about it. Every time you see Black Lives Matter on a t-shirt, they're getting paid for that because they own the rights to it. So that's the money that you're seeing just in terms of the merchandise. They made billions of dollars on merchandise. They was hashtagging, making t-shirts and merchandise all over the fucking planet. So when people say that their leaders were taking the donations and buying houses, that's only some of those donations. That's just some of the money on the books. Trust and believe, that's the donations that were just coming in for like social justice. That's not even to mention the merchandise and the branding and the advertisement. When the NBA put Black Lives Matter on the ground, they had to pay Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter is an organization. Okay, they have a fucking LLC. These folks is not real. These are the hustlers, the con games, and all these motherfuckers. And they always send these type of people in to disrupt our movement and to derail our movement. And some people come with sponsorships from the dominant society, and some motherfuckers just sponsor themselves. But it doesn't matter. These are all nefarious groups that do not have black empowerment in the core of their thoughts, their heart, or their actions. And like we said, they'll do anything for clout. Anything for clout. Y'all remember they was going to them protests, and they was out the protests getting fake arrested and shit? These motherfuckers be posing for the camera saying, hold on, let me throw my arm up. Hold on, put my hand in the handcuff. Let me turn my arm to the side real quick. Get my good side, my left side. Let me smile and shit. D-Ray and all. And they was out there getting arrested, fake arrest, so they can build some type of fake clout. So it could look like, man, they got our back. They're going to say, man, see, we got arrested for y'all. They ain't get arrested for us. They get arrested for the camera. So people can believe that these are some real black grassroots activists. Never been, never will be. It ain't who they are. These are fake grassroots imposters who like to duplicate and imitate the black grassroots so they can get their little brownie points so you can give them some fucking donation money.
New released tax filings show exactly how Black Lives Matter spent their donation money. William Lajeunesse has been digging through it all. What do you have for us, William?
Well, Stuart, here you have an $80 million foundation. Last year they had 0 board meetings and 1 board member. So that's not oversight. But the scrutiny is over use of donor money to hire friends and family. So 3 expenses stand out. BLM gave almost $1 million to Damon Turner, the father of the co-founders, Patrisse Cullors' child, to produce live events. $840,000 went to her brother, Paul, for security. Cullors also admits hiring her mother and sister to work at BLM's LA mansion.
I think it's important that people understand that while my brother is the head of security and my mom and sister did work at the property, it's not like I literally, opened up the bank accounts and was like, I'm bringing all my family and friends in. Folks had skill sets.
BLM also paid Shaloma Bowers $2.1 million for consulting. He and 2 others now serve on the board. BLM spent $1.2 million lobbying to impeach President Trump and eliminate bail. Cullors spent $73,000 on a private jet and used the LA mansion for 2 private parties, but later reimbursed BLM for both. BLM dispersed $25 million in grants to 31 groups. They banked $41 million, including $32 million in stock.
Now, how they're not in jail, I mean, y'all tell me. Where in the fuck is anybody stealing millions of dollars in donations, buying big ass homes, and not going to jail. The only time that happens is if the people who were stealing the money were working for the people who were printing the money. So that shows you again who sent them in, and it wasn't the black grassroots. All they were is what a lot of these motherfuckers are, and they're black grassroots imposters. They're not certified. They're what we call right here on the Black Alpha Network counterfeits. And we seen the counterfeits, and we cashed their ass the fuck out. And everybody sees exactly the play and the hustle, and Black Lives Matter can't even come around anymore. The same way the NFAC and the ADOS or any other future group who wants to show up on our doorstep, pretend to be about the lineage, pretend to be about the people, steal all of our words, lingos, and terminologies. Anybody who's coming with that type of energy or they're on that type of time, they will meet the same fate that every other group has. That is regulated. We regulate like a motherfucker. Shout out to Doug Williams. Regulators mount up. Yes, indeed, family. So when starts with Bush and rhymes with Cookie Lives Matter, when they showed up, we showed out, and they can never come around anymore. Another group we made vanish. That's the black grassroots, baby. And this is the gatekeeping era. So do not be upset when you get your ass gatekeeped. That's what it is. That's how it goes. Gots to deal with it. And when you start talking about all these groups, what's the one thing they have in common? Well, they got a lot in common, but what's the one thing that sticks out? They all came, made the block hot, and left. So you see what their intentions were. Their intentions were to cause confusion. That's exactly what they did. And family, do you know how many fires we had to put out when you start dealing with these Twitter space groups? Do you know how many people have came into my spaces personally and the spaces that I have hosted with my brothers? And we had to, cheer these people up. We had to let them know it's cool. I've had elderly people come in and say, I just left this other space and they cursed me out. This is what I'm talking about, elderly people. And they said, man, these people just cursed me out, called me every name in the book, disrespected me, muted me, wouldn't let me talk, made fun of my family, made fun of my damn dog, my cat, made fun of everything. And these people leave these spaces and they seek refuge in our spaces. And they come to talk to us in our spaces, and we got to let them know, man, it's all good. You know how many times people tell us that they love our spaces because they're so positive and we really talk real productive things and we don't let trolls get the microphone? That doesn't go on in a lot of these other spaces. It's that ratchet shit. And people have came to us and told us that they've got embarrassed in these other spaces. People have said they're going to leave the movement. People have said they're going to sit things out. They don't have the energy for it. Figure you 60, you 70 years old, and you sit here trying to talk, productivity, and you're trying to talk about the movement and reparations, and you fall into a space where every last word somebody's yelling at you, cussing at you, cutting you off, not letting you talk, muting you, embarrassing you in front of a whole panel. I had an older lady call in, and she said she was so glad that we were holding our space because she spent 5 minutes in the other space, and she just seen how crazy it was and how disrespectful it was and how they showed her no respect and it was hurting her faith. I said, no, you can come on in. Any space that says Black Alpha Network, you're welcome to come here so we can really talk facts and we can show a lot of love. And then she said, I appreciate it, brother. I had another old man call in, and he said they told him he was old, he had no room in the movement, and he needs to go to a nursing home. Now, I know for a fact this brother that I'm talking about was solid. This was a solid brother who literally has put down the work in his life. This is an elderly brother who was literally putting it on when he was in his 30s and 40s. Now he's in his 60s and 70s, and they talk to him like he was a piece of dirt. This is what I'm saying. These folks create so much chaos. We've had people call in from overseas who are B1 and on code and say, can I still be black? They're asking us, can they be black anymore? You feel me? Because they're saying that they heard foundational black Americans don't like anybody who's black if you're not American. And we told them, nah, you good. If you on code and you B1, man, you rocking. No problems here. But they were led to believe by these other groups, if you're not FBA, you can't be black. And come the fuck on, really? If you ain't FBA, you can't be black. Y'all remember when they was running with that type of shit? Come on now. That right there should have been the end of the whole conversation. This shit should have never went this long. Anybody running around here telling black people across the world, you can't be black unless you're a foundational black American, they asses should have been disqualified as soon as they started talking. Anybody who runs around here and says black only means American should have been disqualified as soon as they started talking. This shit should have never went on. Never. And shout out to everybody that was putting an end to it when it first started. Not the people who waited, not the folks who let this shit slide, not the folks that was snuggling up next to them and now they all quiet, right? Because there was a lot of people standing next to these folks and they had nothing to say. But as soon as shit got real and the greater community started calling it out, then all of a sudden they tried to distance themselves, so it just got real hush-hush quiet. There's a lot of folks that was hanging around them off-codes, sitting there hearing all that off-code behavior, snuggling up next to it real tight, and now when the community is calling that shit out and when the certifies is G-checking it, them folks got real hush-hush. There's a lot of church mice up in here, a lot of them. But this shit should have been called out a long time ago, and shout out to everybody who knew that was some bullshit. I mean, think about it. They got into an argument about B1 with the gentleman who created the term B1. Where you do that at? They got into an argument with the gentleman who first started saying FBA. Where you do that at? They were literally getting into it with people about terms that they didn't even create. How you gonna get into it with the person who made up the terminology, who put the definition behind it? How you gonna do that? Come on now, but that's par for the course. Oh, and by the way, those terms, B1 and FBA, that they fought so hard for in the beginning, and they argued with the people who first started saying it, they don't even use those terms anymore. Now they just say they're Black Americans. That's what it is. So no longer do they say B1, no longer do they say FBA, now they're just regular Black Americans. Didn't I say they cause all this type of confusion, make the block hot as fuck, and now they don't even use the words that they started all these fires over? What kind of shit is that? Where you do that at? But that's par for the course, because if you examine a lot of these groups, and I'm talking about all of them, they'll jump from subject to subject, term for term, word for word, agenda to agenda, and they're never stable. They don't sit on one thing. They don't plant that flag on something. Speaking of flags, as a matter of fact, these motherfuckers was running around waving the Confederate flag, the Juneteenth flag, the American flag, motherfucking bow and arrows. They had feathers, every single goddamn emoji you can find. They was having it. They had more flags in the fucking United Nations. You don't know where they was coming from. Come on, how you got that many goddamn flags? How many? Come on, what the fuck? And that's what happens when your ass goes from Pocahontas to Malcolm X, and you go from Geronimo to Martin Luther King. Because all these folks back in the day was Indians. They was Indians. I'm telling you, they weren't talking about being no FBA. They were saying they was all Indians. They weren't fighting for FBA rights. They was fighting for Indian rights. They weren't fighting for FBA reparations. They was fighting for Indian reparations. I'm talking about the damn reservation. So they went from that to the damn Black Panther Party overnight. That's what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, when they got shamed for it and they got called on it, they started dropping all them feathers out their bios. They was taking feathers out their bio every 2 seconds. That's the shit I'm talking about. This is what happens when you hop from one place to the next place because you ain't got nothing solid to stand on. Real certifies, we stand on the same thing we've always stood on. That is foundational Black American exceptionalism. That is foundational Black American excellence. That is foundational Black American pride. That's where we at. Everybody else, they may be on some whole different shit next week. Look at them right now why they are where they are, because I guarantee you they won't be there in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks from that, they'll be in a whole different spot. They don't stand on nothing solid because they're not solid. You got to be a real one to stand where the real ones stand. You got to be solid to stand next to another solid individual. That's what we got right here. But the contradiction don't just stop there. Oh no, the contradiction does not stop there. Then there's a lot of little petty shit that goes on. There's a lot of little petty shit like calling folks out their name, disrespecting people. And then when you get on the grand stage, you backtrack like a motherfucker. They'll sit there and call somebody every goddamn name in the book, disrespect people all day long, but get on the grand stage and start saying, no, we didn't mean that. Nah, he said that. That's what he said. Well, he's a part of your group. He's not a part of our group, not anymore. Well, when did he leave? 2 minutes ago. Why? I don't know. You see what I'm talking about? There'd be people in the group that would disrespect people big time. And whenever you'd say, yo, what's up with your man? What's up with your partner that was calling all of us out? He not my partner no more. You was just in a space with him laughing when he was talking about me. No, I wasn't. Dude, we got the recording. That wasn't me. They turned into Shaggy in this motherfucker. It wasn't me. Nah, motherfucker, we got it recorded. Once again, I don't know how in the era of everything is on camera and everything is recorded that people will still sit here and deny what the fuck we just seen and what the fuck we just heard. And y'all know what I'm talking about. How many times did you see these individuals say something crazy or reckless and then they would get on a big space and then they would start backpedaling? They'd go from all that gangster talk to all that prim and proper talk. They'd be like, man, fuck that. I don't give a fuck, man. We doing this shit and we delineating and that's what it is. And then they'd get on the big stage and they'd be like, disrespect? What do you mean disrespect? This is a splendid Twitter space. We love everyone. Boy, that's cold. I guess that's what you can do when you got more flags in the United Nations. You can speak with a Southern accent, a British accent. You can be Indian. You can be a $5 FBA. I guess you can do all that shit. That's what's going on out here in these Twitter spaces. And remind you, real folks out here putting in the work, that's going to last forever. A lot of these people, if Twitter spaces was gone today, they'd be gone tomorrow. And how do you know that? Because they're not real content creators. They're not the real media. They're not real activists out here really doing that true work. They exist 90% in Twitter spaces. How do you know this? It's because they came to be known in a Twitter space. Let's be 100. There was the Twitter space that our brother hopped in, and that space got big because our brother was in that space. Just like a jealous person, they start thinking it was about them. They start thinking it was all because of them, and that's why the space was big. And they're still running around here speaking about a space that really the rest of the world has moved on. Check this out, family. I put together an FBA United space. Y'all heard it, y'all seen it. The FBA United Space, it did like damn near 8,000 views collectively. Everybody loved it. I brought in a bunch of real speakers, everybody from all over Foundational Black America. We chopped it up on everything from reparations to spirituality. I mean, we had a real live discussion and everybody loved it. People were DMing me, people were leaving comments. It was something so positive just to let the world know that Foundational Black Americans stand together. All the outsiders, all the tethers, all the trolls, we was just showing them that FBA, we go hard. Do y'all know the only people who had a problem with it was them? The same ones who got a problem with everybody. The same ones who done had an issue with our brother Tariq, our brother Jason Black, our brother Professor Black Truth. They had a problem with the FBA United space. And then they had a problem with it before it even aired. You know your ass is a special form of clout chaser. You know your ass is a special form of jealousy. And let me tell you something, you can't cure jealousy. And just admit, that space you did, it wasn't because of you, because you got a cosign. You like the one hit wonder who had one song and the damn song had a feature on it. It has nothing to do with you. Somebody else made you hot. Just accept it, quit being jealous, and keep it pushing. You should have just been humble to be a part of the space instead of trying to take all the credit for the space. Because we all know that was our brother who got that popping and not none of y'all. Hell, nobody even knew who you were a year ago. I'll say it like this. If you were so responsible for that, okay, then make another one. Where's your part 2 at? Where's your second single? You had the first single with the feature from the hot artist who really made it a big song and got you all that radio play. Now, do it again. Do it on your own now. Oh, you tried, and that shit flippity flopped all over the goddamn place. So it really wasn't about you, it was about somebody else. But then again, that's what clout chasers do. They chase clout. I mean, we're talking about black activism. Every single day there's a new issue. Every single day we got a new problem to solve. Every single day we're out here putting in work. And you still talking about something from a year ago? That's the real issue, to be real. We talking about a year ago. A whole year ago. We're not talking about right now. We talking about a Twitter space that went on a whole year ago. You know how many new Twitter spaces have occurred? Do you know how many new Twitter accounts have happened? Come the fuck on. You still talking about that? You know it's sad when all your activism work all boils down to a Twitter space. If the only thing you can hang your hat on in this foundational Black American activism world is a goddamn Twitter space, then you need some help. And what my man Allen Iverson said, he said we talking about practice. We talking about practice, not the game. We talking about practice. So I guess when it comes to them, we talking about Twitter. Not reparations, Twitter. Not an anti-black hate crime bill. We talking about Twitter. Not Jackson, Mississippi water crisis, Twitter. Not tangibles, Twitter. That's where we at, family. We talking about Twitter, we talking about practice. We talking about practice, we talking about Twitter. This is where we at. We talking about Twitter. Something that it takes you 2 seconds to make a fucking account. I know they said people had Twitter fingers, but god damn, I didn't know there was Twitter thoughts. Get real with this shit. Get real with it. Hey, shout out to Allen Iverson, man. One love, family. I had to do it, man. Practice. It fit, so I had to roll with it, bro. Shout out to AI. But we talking about Twitter. This is where your activism is on Twitter. Holding 15-hour Twitter spaces, and do some of these people work? I mean, god damn. If I wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, and you got a Twitter space going that's already been going on for 2 hours, I get in the shower, drive to work, come home, the same Twitter space is going on, then I go and eat dinner, come back, the same Twitter space is going on, take a nap, wake back the fuck up, the same Twitter space is still going on. What do you do for a living? Because it damn sure ain't black activism. There ain't that much Twitter on earth. So once again, family, are we talking about black empowerment or are we talking about Twitter? Let's get real. Let's get real, man. So shout out to everybody out there really doing the real work. People who are out there holding it down. And if you're getting on Twitter spaces, it ain't for 15 hours and 22 minutes, okay? It's on and off. You get the productivity out and you're not just sitting there hanging out all damn day. That's the difference, okay? It's one thing to have a productive space where people really talk and people really come up with real solutions and network. And it's another thing to have a Twitter space for 24 hours yelling and cussing at each other. All right, go feed your kids. I be hearing kids in the background starving and shit. Go attend to your children. Don't be on Twitter spaces all day having a rap concert. Don't do that, because we ain't talking about Twitter. Dig it. So shout out to everybody who supports the new black media. There will be no new black media slander. There will be no slander of the big three. That ain't happening, not on my watch again. Because when we're out here in the streets, we build together, we support each other. That's the thing. There ain't that much hate in the world. For these folks to always be in the middle of drama, for people to have issues and it's always with the same group, what does that tell you? There's people out there that are real quiet, real peaceful, that we got a lot of respect for. And this group got a problem with them. There's people out there that we got a lot of admiration for and a lot of love for. And this group got a problem with them. I mean, damn, let's be real here. How you got a problem with the individuals that everybody respects? That means you're the outliner. That means you're the outcast. That means you're the toxic one. And that type of shit is clearly being regulated right now. And that's what you have to do. Spot who's the toxic individual and simply remove them. And in a lot of cases, they'll remove their goddamn selves. They'll pack their bags. They'll go back to Haiti. Exactly. Checkmate. They'll head on back home, because y'all know we putting tethers back together. A lot of them done slid out of them FBA spaces and they going into them tether spaces now. Family reunion, home sweet home, back where they're more comfortable, because that's really where they belonged in the first place. Because as I said, this foundational black American culture is very clear and it's very definitive. We know what we're about. We know what we represent. We know what this whole family is. And it's not people out here disrespecting. It's not people out here hating. And it's not the goddamn drama show. If you want the drama show, go turn on TV. You can watch that shit 24/7, 365. But keep that shit out of our reparations movement, because we are very focused, we are very determined, and we are very serious. Serious about our business, even if you ain't. And that's what it's all about, family. It's about serious business. Are you serious about putting in the work? Are you serious about standing next to each other? Are you serious about building? Or are you serious about shine, recognition, clout chasing? And that is the determining factor on who's on code and who's off code, who we decide to build with and who we let just slide to the side. That's the difference between the two of them, because if somebody's not out here for the people, if someone thinks they're better than the people, if someone's always out here fighting with the people, then that person does not belong to stand next to the people. It's simple. It's not complex. Like I said earlier today, just because somebody makes their bullshit complex, that doesn't mean seeing through the bullshit is complex. That's very easy to do, and all my certifieds do it with ease. But there's a word. It's a simple word that comes associated with somebody who's off code. It comes associated with all these groups who pop up and come around every 2 to 3 years. And it's a simple term called jealousy. And you gotta know this. Hatred comes in the form of jealousy all the damn time. Bitterness comes in the form of jealousy all the damn time. Vitriol comes in the form of jealousy all the damn time. You show me somebody who's a hater, and I'm gonna show you somebody who's jealous. You show me somebody who's got vitriol, I'm gonna show you somebody who's jealous. You show me somebody who's bitter, and I'm gonna show you somebody who's jealous. They've been drinking on that haterade all goddamn day long, because that's what they do. And when you start dealing with foundational black Americans, with our exceptional nature, with how excellent we are, then you know goddamn well jealousy gonna come right with the territory. And that's what it is. All these other groups are jealous. They sit back and they see the moves being made by the black grassroots and they say, I wish that was me. They see the excellence of our brothers and sisters who are really out here doing the work, boots on the ground, and they say, I wish that was me. But they don't have it in them to come out here and do what we do. First off, you can't do what we do because you're jealous. Second off, you can't do what we do because you a hater. And third, you cannot do this because the people don't rock with you. Goes back to the word that we said in the very beginning, family, respect. If you do not show respect, you will not get respect. Respect is earned. Too many of these people just show up and demand respect for nothing. Ain't did a goddamn thing. Ain't lifted a finger in the black grassroots, but think they deserve some type of clout. Ain't twisted a doorknob in the black grassroots, think they deserve some type of clout. Ain't stepped a foot in the black grassroots, but think they deserve some type of clout. What part of the game is that? And then when they come around, they come with jealousy, and jealousy leads to feuding and fighting. Jealousy leads to messiness, sloppy, that real raggedy shit, 200-hour Twitter spaces. All of that is combined with the jealous hater. And hate comes in the form of jealousy. And we understand that, we identify that, and we frame it. So when these people come around here and they got all types of vitriol for the moves that we are making, they want acknowledgement for doing nothing. They want to be praised. They want a pat on the head. They want somebody to sing a damn song for them. That is all based out of pure, old-fashioned jealousy. I mean, look at the situation. You got the pillars in our community who have put in a lot of work. They've assisted people. They've helped people out. They've helped build people. And that ain't good enough. You got the pillars in our community who are out here raising money, raising funds, helping individuals get their life together. And then for some folks, that ain't good enough. And then you got the pillars in our community who are very quiet, very peaceful, and everybody loves them, and that ain't good enough. So when you do everything, you put in all the work, your people love and respect you, but yet you got you a little jealous hater over there in the corner on the right side, whispering to his little friends, pointing the finger, wanting to be acknowledged, then that lets you know you're dealing with a counterfeit. And there's no room for counterfeits. It's a no counterfeit zone. Only the real apply over here. So those people got to be removed. And the best way you remove them, just don't deal with them. Just don't deal with them. Indifference is the key. When somebody comes around, you don't have to give them all your time, energy, and effort. If you notice, I ain't said one name. I ain't said one goddamn name because I don't have to say your name. You know who I'm talking about. What's understood don't need to be discussed, explained, nor broke down. When we speak, put your context clues on. You know what time it is, and you know exactly who we speaking on. All of these motherfuckers. I don't give a damn what group you belong to. I don't give a fuck when you popped up. I don't give a fuck what hustle or scam that you trying to run on the foundational Black American community. We know who's bullshit. We know who's about the games, and we know who's not trying to build with us. Therefore, we don't have to pull out a pencil and write their names in cursive and shit and get a billboard and run an ad in the paper. We ain't got to do none of that shit. All we do is we speak the truth to existence, and we'll let everybody else put that jacket on if it fit. That's how you play it. Some people do not even deserve your attention. Understand that. When you regulate somebody, you G-check somebody, you pull some paperwork back on the jealous ass hater, you ain't got to sit there and spend all day with that shit. All that emotion and getting all invested in a situation, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do what I say. You check a motherfucker on the way to the bank. You check a motherfucker on the way to prosperity. You check a motherfucker on the way to your destination. You do not park the car. You do not get out the car. You don't put the car on stall. You don't do none of that shit. Because if they can get you to stop your car, if they can get you to wait for 1 minute, freeze for 1 second, then they got you right where they want you. Because remember, that is the ultimate goal of a jealous ass hater. They want to slow you down. They want to knock you off your pivot. Because if they can get you to stop, that makes them feel good about themselves. That makes their insecurities feel a lot better. Trust and believe. These folks coming out after our brother Jason Black, hating on our brother Tariq Nasheed, Professor Black. Oh, that's only because those folks is jealous. That's all that is. They're jealous that they're not out here making moves. They're jealous that they're not revered. They're jealous that they can't speak and people listen. When you sitting there talking and ain't nobody listening, but then you look over here and people who are respected speak and individuals hear what they're saying, oh man, that breeds a whole lot of jealousy. And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the jealous hater. And what I told you, hate comes in the form of jealousy all the time. That person with that hater jacket on, trust and believe, he's got a jealous t-shirt underneath it. That motherfucker with the vitriol jacket on, trust and believe, he's got a jealous t-shirt on underneath that. And the motherfucker who's bitter all day long, ice grilling, mean mugging, that motherfucker got a big ass shirt that says jealousy underneath all that. The core is jealousy. So when they see our brothers and sisters out here making real moves, when they see our brothers and sisters out here really putting it down, they only know how to go to jealousy. Because they obviously don't know how to go to peace. They obviously don't know how to go to respect because they show no respect. They show no peace. They show no decorum. They don't have any of that in them. The only thing they know is jealousy because they come in with that ignorant prison babble, and that shit has no play in our community. When you come up in here and you start talking about Black empowerment, that is based upon respect. That's based upon peace, love, and reparations, okay? We say peace, love, and reparations. We don't say jealous, ratchet reparations. No, peace, love, reparations. That's what it's based upon. So nah, man, we ain't worried about no haters. We got a whole world of haters. Let me tell you something. When you foundational Black American, when you certified, everybody gonna hate on you. It comes with the territory, but it's good because we take that negative energy and we turn that into a positive. We take all that shit and it fuels us even stronger. I know right here on the Black Alpha Network, as I speak all the time, and y'all know how much I love the family. Everybody knows that. I put it all on the line for the family because I know that this is me. You feel me? It's a part of who I am. I'm not separate. I'm not across the street. I'm not down the block, round the corner, up the avenue. Fuck no. I'm right here. Wherever my people are, I'm right here with my people. Whatever my people go through, I'm going through it right there with them. And I'm not playing the background. I'm playing the front line. So jealousy, whether it comes in the form of a tether, jealousy, whether it comes in the form of a Democratic shield, jealousy, whether it comes in the form of some hater from some group that pops up overnight, it does not matter. To me, all of the motherfuckers is on the same line, and that's the off code line. And we're going to put their ass on the unemployment line because they fucking with some real ones. Believe that. So yes, family, there's been a whole lot of gatekeeping going on. There's been a whole lot of G-checking, and that's the way it's supposed to be. As you get closer to your goal, you got to make sure everything's airtight, and that's exactly what we've done. This is the G-checking era, and I love it. I love it. I take pride in G-checking because I sat back and seen the way things used to be back in the day. We have the advantage of seeing mistakes that were made in the past, and there was a whole lot of mistakes. You don't let nobody whoop your ass, okay, and then thank the motherfuckers who whooped your ass. You don't do that. You don't say, I'm gonna suffer so the next generation can do better. You don't let the dominant society write you no fucking IOUs. You don't let somebody jump off their couch and get in on this movement only when it's popular and then they disappear when the popularity goes away. Okay, this ain't no trending thing. I know FBA trends all over the place. I know black empowerment, reparations trends all over the place, but it's always been here with us. So when motherfuckers is here for the spotlight, you cannot let them come for the limelight. That's what they want. They want every little thing that they can get off our plate, foreign and domestic. Anybody who sees foundational black Americans making moves, trust and believe, they want in on it because we are the creators. We are the innovators. We are the architects. We are the builders. What I say, Friedman build. Since we are people who build, motherfuckers who cannot build are always going to want to get in on it. They're going to always want to have a piece of the pie. And they ain't did shit to deserve it. They ain't show no respect. They ain't earned nothing. But this is what it is. Motherfuckers have this open door policy for us that they can come on in and they can just take shit that they did not have a hand in. Fucks that. That era is gone. As we say, this is the real time era. Everything has to go down the proper way. Everything has to go down in a just fashion. If that shit ain't real and you ain't coming on some real genuine sincerity, then your ass is gonna get genuinely and sincere kicked the fuck out. And I love that shit. And shout out to all my regulators who do it. Because when you have a code, you gotta enforce the code. You gotta enforce the code. What was the code back in the day? The code was what? Yes, we can. The code was what? Edmund Pettus Bridge. The code was what? Love who you love. Ain't none of that shit flying no more. Ain't none of that shit flying no more. And we take that same energy that put it into that type of thought process. We put that same energy towards keeping motherfuckers on the outside who belong to be on the outside. Let me say this. A lot of motherfuckers deserve to be on the outside the house. What they say, not everybody can come. I say not everybody getting an invite. Anybody who wants to be here, anybody who deserves to be here, anybody who belongs here is going to get themselves right here. Okay, we can't transport anybody in. As we say, we don't need no new recruits. We got what we already have. We got all the soldiers, we got all the warriors, we got all the brothers, sisters, kings, queens, goddess, and gods. We don't need to be out here saying, let's wait for so-and-so to get their shit together. Let's wait. You got big grown ass motherfuckers, 35 years old, 45 years old, and motherfuckers is still talking about let them wake up. When the fuck they gonna wake up? When we 90? We ain't got that kind of motherfucking time. And can we please stop with, oh, they young. No. Your ass is not young when you 28, 29, 30, 35, 45, 50. You are a grown ass adult and you need to make grown ass decisions. This little shit when we be giving passes to motherfuckers who are old enough to have kids in their teens and their 20s, fuck no. If you dealing with somebody who's young, I understand that. They can get a pass to a degree. But remember, every old coon started off as a young coon. First off, being a certified is not that goddamn hard. Being on code ain't that hard. We got to quit acting like being on code is like walking a fucking tightrope, doing a backflip and landing on your feet. It ain't that difficult. You know what's right, you know what's wrong. You know what's bullshit, you know what's real shit. So this notion that we make the code so complex, all that does is give motherfuckers a reason to not ever wake up. If you keep saying, man, the code is so hard now, Wednesdays we gonna figure it out. What are you doing? You basically giving somebody a 25-year pass to get their shit together. Motherfuckers ain't taking that long to be Ratchet. Motherfuckers ain't taking that long to be a hindrance to the community. William O'Neal, the guy who got Fred Hampton killed, he was in his early 20s. Now, if you gonna sit here and wait for William O'Neal to wake up, your ass may never wake up because he may put something in your back. So understand, it ain't just about a motherfucker's age. It ain't about where they're from. It ain't about how much money you make. None of that has anything to do with being on code. That is inconsequential to being a certified. You could be a certified at any day, at any moment, as long as you understand what it's like to have love and admiration for your people. You feel me? We ain't giving out no passes. So nah, I don't want to hear nobody who's 37 years old and they sitting there talking about some, let him wake up, he's young. Or shit, in some cases, some people who say they the mamas of the community, they grandmothers. So y'all waiting on grandmamas to wake up. Goddamn, newsflash, a grandmama is who she is. She ain't gonna change. And even if she did change, you ain't gonna want that change because it's too goddamn late. There's a thing called too late. And that's what we got to understand, and that's what we got to do. We got to regulate everything in every aspect. So I regulate anybody at any time, going up or going down. It don't fucking matter. I'm gonna sit your ass down and let you know this how certifieds get down. And if you ain't rolling with certifieds, then you got to roll on out. Easy work, baby. So that's what it's like to live in this era. That's what it's like to be a certified foundational Black American freeman, and we love it. Anybody who's got any type of smoke with us gets dealt with, and reparations, tangibles, and empowerment is all ours. So you see that sign, that big sign that reads FBA only, foundational Black American freemen, no trespassers? That's exactly what the fuck it mean. No trespassers, all day. Peace and love, family. And that's peace, love, and reparations. That's peace, love, and respect. That's peace, love, and admiration to the whole FBA family tree. Y'all know we love each other. Y'all know we build together. Y'all know we rock together. Y'all know we ride together. And y'all know everybody wants to be us. That's why they so goddamn jealous. But tell them keep on being jealous, because we gonna keep on being great, for sure. I hope everybody has a good day. As I started off the beginning of this Black AlphaCast, I will end the Black AlphaCast the same exact way, because we are all in this together, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of us. I love everything that we're doing. I love what we go through and how we handle ourselves in a real professional, productive manner. Anybody else would fold. Anybody else would fall. It is very easy to succumb to all the bullshit when you have so much bullshit thrown our way. So we need to really sit back and pop our collar and show ourselves some love. The fact that we maintain all this and we deal with all this drama, hate, vitriol, spite, and we still get up every goddamn day. We still look ourselves in the mirror, know exactly who we are, and then we take it out in this real world and we build with our brothers and sisters, foundational Black American lineage style. So salute to you, salute to us, salute to the whole family. Love you with a passion. Black Alpha Network. With that said, make sure you leave a like before you roll out. Make sure you subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me everywhere. We're going to keep on bringing that real hot fire. Shout out to the new Black media as well. I got to say that before we rock. I love you, Queen Alpha. I love the whole family. Everybody stay safe, stay good, stay strong, stay vigilant. And remember this as always. Foundational Black is beautiful, and beautiful is always Black. One love.